Hello and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. I am Brian Holland. I'm the marketing director here at Chaosium, where we get to dream the dreams of dead gods and construct the world from its essential runes. We've got a very special stream for you today, in which we are showcasing Regency Cthulhu, our latest release for Call of Cthulhu, which lets you take your eldritch horrors into the dark designs of Jane Austen's England. But before we get started, I would like to introduce you to our very wonderful cast. Please, let's go through everybody here. Let us know your pronouns, the name of your character, also who you are, and how you found your way here. Beginning with the lovely Paula Deming.
Oh gosh, I have to go first. I was like, how did I find my way here? I'll see what everyone else says. Great, thanks, Brian. Hi, I'm Paula Deming. I am she, her, and I am playing Theodosia Beaumont, who is also she, her. And how did I get here? Well, I started playing Call of Cthulhu over with Becca Scott on the Calyx on her channel, and through that got introduced to this. And I think it's my favorite. I'm not just saying this because I'm here on the official channel, but I think it's my favorite RPG. I love it. And if you want non-scary things, I make board game sketch comedy at Things Get Dicey.
Cynthia Marie.
Hi, my mic didn't turn on for a second there. I'm Cynthia Marie. Pronouns are she, her. I am playing Astoria Adair. How do I find my way to Call of Cthulhu? I think my first game was on the initiative order, and then I played on the Calyx, and then I was summoned by the gods to come play on Chaosium. But I play a bunch of other horror games, a little vampire show that people might know about. Otherwise, you can find me playing a bunch of other games, all on the socials. We can talk about that later, but I'm really excited to play this.
London Carlisle.
Hello, my name is London Carlisle. I use he, him pronouns. Today I am playing Arthur Adair, and I have found my way to this realm from the eldritch city of Carcosa. Just kidding. No, I'm a member of Ain't Slayed Nobody, the wonderful Down Darker Trails Call of Cthulhu podcast. I enjoy playing my cowboy fantasies out over there, and also with Spot Hidden, another Call of Cthulhu actual play that I produce with my best friends. So you might know me from one of those places, but again, like Paula, this is my favorite game, so I'm very excited to be here playing this. So thanks for having me.
Saige Ryan.
Hello. Oh, am I unmuted? I did it this right. Okay. Hi, I am Saige Ryan. I am playing Isla Ambrose. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Sage. I come from the channel Pixel Circus. I, like many of us, I make things with my best friends, which is very exciting. My first Call of Cthulhu game, I don't think has been released yet as of this moment when this is airing. And it was wonderful and exciting. And I've been playing so much Call of Cthulhu for the last 2 months straight and having the most wonderful time with it. So I'm very excited to play something very different today.
So technically this would be your first game then.
Will this be the first one people have seen? Oh no, live at Gen Con, where I played with Paula.
That's right.
But only if you caught the Gen Con game. So
Only if you were special and they're live, or caught it on the YouTube channel after. But if you weren't there live, why?
You had to be there.
You had to be there.
You know. And lastly, yes, I'm Brian. I use he, him pronouns, and I clearly owe something to the Dark Eldritch Gods because I have no product in my hair, and this curl happened naturally today. So we're all having a great time. Everybody's having fun. Now, Regency Cthulhu. Each of you have received a letter from the esteemed Mr. Reginald Fitzwilliam, inviting you to a dinner and party at his home in Hellbrook Manor. Now, Mr. Fitzwilliam is, he's been known as a bit of a recluse, but depending on who you ask, he's also a bit of a student of the world. He's spent not a lot of his adult years in England. He's traveled all around, and it is strange that he seems to have settled now, and people, the rumor mill says that he is trying to perhaps put his roots down back in Hellbrook Manor because his son, Mr. George Fitzwilliam, is of an age where he may begin to start looking for a prospective spouse. which, if the rumors are to be believed about the Fitzwilliams' annual income, is something that will really be of interest to a lot of the prospects, shall we say, in the area. I'd like to ask each of you, where are you where you received this letter? Starting perhaps with the siblings, Adair, Arthur and Astoria Adair.
Well,
Arthur, where are we? Yeah, where are we?
Arthur is sitting on the park bench. This is where he goes to sort of collect himself. It has a lot of personal meaning to him. This is where he had his first kiss, stolen away while the chaperone was not looking. But this is his place, and this is the place where his sister can often find him.
Arthur, why are you in this dreaded place again? We just received an invitation that we must go and attend to. So why are you sitting here?
Oh, yes. You hadn't given me any instruction in the past 30 minutes or so I just thought I would come here and sit.
Come. This is no place for a gentleman like you to be sitting, especially reminiscing over something that was so trivial. Come on.
Yes, I'm sorry. Invitation? You said we have an invitation?
Yeah, see, what is the proper term for Fitzwilliam? Is he a sir? Is he a mister? Does he have a title?
He's a Mr. Fitzwilliam.
Okay. It is a Mr. Fitzwilliam. Apparently he has a coming out party for his son.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds delightful. And I'm coming with you, I assume?
Oh, yes, of course. You need to outshine him.
Okay, yes. I can do that. I can
This is your year. Remember, you are going to find a wife. A suitable wife. One that I will handpick.
You've been muted, one.
Technology gods are already killing us.
The first
You hear me
Eldritch
now,
Terror.
sister? Okay,
There.
yes. I'm
There we
back.
go. Yeah.
So, can you write something down for me to say again, sister?
Yes, Arthur, I can write down your introduction, but I don't know how you're going to get through a regular conversation with a lady.
Well, like you said last time, just smile. And, do the little eye thing.
Right, do you remember all the dances?
Yes, of course. Dancing I can do.
Excellent, let's go get you dressed because what you're wearing is awful.
This is my bench wear.
Meanwhile, where does the letter find Miss Isla Ambrose?
Isla sits in a study just sitting under one single candlelight with thick curtains drawn. You would think it's probably the middle of the night, and she's hunched over writing on a piece of paper as a young man knocks on the door and just kind of like slips it in, knowing not to bother her when she's writing. And she continues to scribble for a few more minutes before she even bothers to go and pick it up. And she'll open up the curtains and reveal the harsh light of day to open the letter by. As she opens it, reads it rather quickly, understood, and immediately returns to writing, just like feverishly, very, very quickly, crumbling up pages and throwing them, picking back up the letter, setting it down, writing another page.
All right. And lastly, Miss Theodosia Beaumont.
Yes, well, I am in the sitting room of my family's home, reading The Mysteries of Udolpho, one of my favorite books. And my sister, who is visiting, she's come calling with her husband, comes into the room and brings me the letter with the invitation in it. She is very excited about it, because it's my turn to get married. But I don't really care that much.
Well, when it comes to the night of the dinner at Hellbrook Manor, each of you must dress for the occasion. There's a new skill that's been introduced in Regency Cthulhu called fashion. I'm going to have to ask you all to please roll your fashion to see how well you go about dressing yourself. Now, Astoria, I believe you may have said that you were going to try and dress your own brother.
Yes.
It's up to you two if you would like Astoria to make both roles for you, or if you would like to trust your brother Arthur to try and dress himself before this occasion.
I do not trust my brother one bit when it comes to this moment.
Well, particularly because Astoria, you have quite a good reputation. So your reputation score, which is another new mechanic which is introduced with Regency Cthulhu, is 63, which actually makes you a rather upstanding member of the gentry, while your brother is sort of just average. So, you know, you would hate for anything that he mistakenly does to rub off on your own reputation and see that decrease.
Exactly. Is it okay that I roll for your fashion, please?
Yes.
All right, so please, Astoria, make a roll for yourself and your brother. And then Theodosia and Isla, please also make a fashion roll. Let me know if you succeed or if you fail.
I have done both rolls if you're ready.
I am ready.
So it's a success for me for my first roll. My fashion is 40 and I rolled a 67 on the dice. And for Arthur,
Well,
I
you
rolled.
said you rolled a 67 and you have a 40?
Yeah, 40. Yeah. So I succeed.
You rolled a 40 or you rolled a 67? Sorry, I'm confused.
Oh wait, no, I failed on mine, and I failed miserably on Arthur's too. Yeah, I forgot. It's the opposite. Yeah.
So how miserably? You didn't roll a 96 or above for Arthur, did you?
I did.
You
I
did?
rolled a 97.
Oh gosh, well. We'll come to that in just one moment, but there's something going on with the seamstress in the Adair household. We'll tell you that much. Now, Isla, you succeeded.
I did, yes. My fashion is a 30 and I got a 28, so just by the skin of my teeth a little bit. I think that she is somebody who has like what we would call today a capsule wardrobe. She knows exactly what looks good on her, but there isn't like a massive number of pieces in her closet. She has her few wonderfully structured and wonderfully fitted pieces.
Excellent. And Theodosia Beaumont, you did mention that you did not care so much for the event, or perhaps you did not care so much to be married, but did you care for your wardrobe?
Well, look, I'm bored all the time, and going out to a party and looking nice and maybe causing some mischief would be a good time, and it would be nice if I was dressed well, and I must have cared quite a bit because my fashion is only 10 and I rolled a 10.
Perfect.
I did not think I was going to make it at all.
Well done. Certainly a great news. Now, I assume each of you are going to arrive by carriage to this event. Does anybody care to walk the 3+ miles to Hellbrook Manor?
No, I would like to take the carriage.
Well done. So, you each arrive now. Hellbrook Manor it's a few miles from Tarryford, which is the main sort of town nearby where most of you sort of convalesce, and it is a very, very big estate. Now, it's very likely that this is the first time any of you have been here, and it is quite fabulous. It is 3 stories tall. It has a beautiful facade, a very lovely water feature at the front. It's well lit from the inside as you approach, as you know the sun has begun to set. And when you arrive at the front, who is the most punctual of the 3 groups we have here arriving? Isla's shaking her head, so not Isla.
I don't think
I feel like
it.
I feel like it might be us. The sister.
Oh no, there's a verbal lashing that is happening to the seamstresses right now, so we will be late.
All right,
keep
then
a
I'm
tight
going to
schedule.
Theodosia
Sounds like I'm first.
Okay. You are greeted at the door by a manservant who nods, takes your hand to help you down off the carriage.
Thank you.
He leads you into the parlor, where you are greeted by another manservant. There's not too many people here. There's an awful lot of servants. You notice, which is something that's in the parlor. There is somebody currently quite fastidiously wiping down some of the benches that display these beautiful vases full of flowers. There's a very, very large marble staircase that leads up to the second floor, and you are guided through this parlor through these very tall redwood doors, which are engraved with this beautiful filigree and design, which you don't pay too much attention to. There's an awful lot going on, and you are taken into a side lounge where there is champagne being served, and there are some very small hors d'oeuvres on hold, and there are a few leather couches around, and there are a few other folks nearby. Who you very well may know. There's Mr. Cecil Oakley, a blonde man who sort of stands in the corner, and he is speaking with a Mr. Francis Campbell, another sort of a stoic man who seems like he yawns at one point quite broadly. He's got a reputation for being a bit.
He's a bit rude.
Let's just say you're surprised that he was invited to begin with.
Maybe the Fitzwilliams don't know the reputation of everyone in town quite well enough yet, so that's probably why Mr. Campbell is here.
Indeed. So how do you situate yourself when you arrive?
Well, if I may, just back up a moment. As I was being escorted here, I would like to have just, taken a look around and seen are there any closed doors that looked interesting that maybe at some point I might be able to sneak back to and poke around, go through the medicine cabinet, if you will.
The parlor that you were led through only had the one open door, the two big redwood doors that led into this little side room. Then there's the staircase that went up. Now opposite those redwood doors on the other wall are a matching pair of redwood doors which are closed.
Ooh. I just note it, maybe for later. Are there any young ladies around my age here? Or is anyone playing cards? I think I would maybe go and sit down to play some cards or something.
Yes, so there is Miss Phoebe Oakley, who is wife to the previously mentioned Mr. Oakley, who is the blonde giddy man in the corner, talking to Mr. Campbell, is sitting at cards with a Miss Bridget Fletcher, who pointedly, Miss Phoebe raises her hand and smiles at you when you enter, and Miss Fletcher does not. She just is keeping her focus on cards for now.
Well, I think I might want to go over to them and sit down, and maybe I can distract Miss Fletcher a little bit. Just, cause some trouble.
Miss Oakley smiles at you as you approach. Miss Beaumont, so lovely to see you. You made it all right.
I did, yes. The carriage ride was just fine. Thank you for asking.
A marvellous ride through the countryside, isn't it?
Oh, it's just lovely this time of year.
Would you care to join us?
I would love to. Thank you so much for asking me. I'll sit down and... Miss Fletcher, would you deal me in?
Oh, I suppose if you don't want to let us finish our game, I can deal you into a new one.
Oh, dear me. I didn't mean to be rude. Please, no. You surely finish. It's fine. I'll just sit here and I'll just make conversation.
All right. Next to arrive is very likely to be Isla Ambrose.
Yes, she does. And walking in the front door, she tries to just kind of lose herself in a little bit of a crowd, talking to where there's a large group of people, and grab a drink if she can.
It's Mr. Cecil Oakley, a blonde man who was in the corner holding a flute of champagne, sees you upon your entrance, and he excuses himself from his conversation with Mr. Campbell, and he scurries over to you, making sort of short little footsteps as he goes, "Oh, Miss Ambrose, I'm so glad to have seen you again. How have you been since our last?"
Thank you. I've been quite well and quite fortunate. It's been
very happy to see you here.
Yes, I can tell you're quite enthusiastic. Very happy to be here. I haven't left the study in it would seem a while now. It's a good excuse to put on a nice dress.
I must say, your last work was truly taking. I was truly taken with it. I've read it twice now. Yes.
Wow. That's wonderful. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah. I quite insisted that Mrs. Oakley also read the book, but I hazard she's not much of a reader, I must say.
Oh. You know, I would love to speak to her. I think that she might quite enjoy it, actually.
Oh, yes.
As you've recognized, I don't write terribly traditional stories, but I think they're well worth telling.
More so than worth it. I would hate to. I believe my wife is at cards with some other women who I'm not particularly aware of. But I could introduce you if you'd like, or I could introduce you to. Have you met the lovely stone-faced Mr. Campbell? I could introduce you, or perhaps you and I could continue in our conversation as it has been. I found it quite wondrous so far.
Wow, yes, it's been pleasant. You know what? Actually, over at the cards table, I've been wanting to learn how to play that game. So I'm gonna just go watch for a moment and see if I can pick something up. But it's a pleasure. Take care. Please tell the missus I say hello if I don't get a chance to speak to her at the cards that I'm walking to right now. Thank you so much.
Oh, very, very good. Jolly good. Now the wow. Now their siblings. How was that carriage ride? That was a rough few minutes in the carriage. Arthur, how are you feeling?
He's looking over at his sister and he just says, Astoria, did you have to make her cry?
You see what we're in?
That is
This is
true.
from last year.
But this outfit does match my my small sword. It's look on the bright side of things, right?
Bright side, I have a reputation to uphold. Unlike you, I need to look perfect.
Are you trying to find a husband tonight?
How dare you say such a thing? You
Just
know
stating
that
the
I'm
obvious.
far too old.
Interesting.
So when you arrive, you are, like the others, escorted out of your carriage through the parlor and into this the side room that's adorned with couches and the card table, the fireplace where some of the men are drinking champagne. You're offered champagne, and upon your entrance, you know, you are people who know you do sight you. Now, Astoria, you failed your fashion roll, so you're actually going to lose 1 point of reputation because
How dare!
people expect more from a credit to the tongue, and you fumbled the roll 96 plus your brother, which means your poor brother, who's already got a worse reputation than yourself, Arthur, is going to lose D6 reputation points. I'm going to roll that now. That is a four reputation points.
Cool.
What is your score and reputation now, Arthur?
I'm currently at 41.
41. So you're still in the pretty average and respectable band, but you are really on a cusp. Much lower than this, and you really wouldn't be like to be invited to most things, let alone this. So when you upon your entry, you can see Ms. Beaumont, Miss Ambrose, Mrs. Oakley, and Miss Fletcher are all sort of chatting with one another, playing at cards. Then there's another couple of men who are standing in the corner. Where do you situate yourselves? Do you walk as a unit, or do you separate?
Could I
Why do I
ask
think it's
a
going to be up to
question?
Astoria?
What I know their reputation scores at the table.
Their reputation scores. Let me roll, and I'll let you know. I'll roll on their reputation scores to let you know who is the most reputable. You specifically just the people at the table, or everyone in the room?
For Arthur, probably just the ladies at the table.
Mm-hmm. Of the ladies at the table, it's actually Isla and Theodosia are actually tied for the best reputation at the table. But in the room, it's currently it's actually Mr. Campbell is quite well known. He's quite wealthy. The stoic man in the corner who's talking to the borderline insufferable Mr. Oakley.
Noted. Arthur, I think you would probably find your best spot over there playing cards. I hear that Mr. Ambrose has a really fascinating novel out. You should probably use that to your advantage. And Miss Beaumont seems to be quite the curious type creature. Which might be right up your alley as well.
Oh, I get it. So you want me to
Yes.
procure a book from Miss Ambrose and then give it to Miss Beaumont to entertain her.
She gets ready to
Can
like
do.
smack him upside the head with her fan. No,
Okay.
I want you to procure a marriage.
Oh. Okay. Yes. Okay. Stick to the script. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna head to Mr. Campbell, and hopefully Arthur goes to the
Okay,
table.
we'll pick up on Arthur's little jaunt in just one moment. So you approach, and Mr. Campbell is responding to a number of questions, seemingly fired from a machine gun by Mr. Oakley, and he's responding in monosyllabic terms, nodding, drinking his flute of champagne, looking rather uninterested in his present company.
Do I overhear anything that they're saying, perchance?
It sounds a lot like Mr. Oakley is going on about all the benefits and the general excitement of horse racing, and it would appear that Mr. Campbell is completely disinterested.
So Astoria walks up and she goes, "Pardon me, but I believe that there was some chatter over there about Buttercup being the forerunner in the race. Is that a possibility that you think that I should put some money down on that?"
You go to the races, miss?
That was
Oh, how grand! No, well, it really depends on the kind of sort you like to consort with, I suppose. Well, there are many things to consider when you go down to the racetracks, and for first thing, for me, it's always the weather. If the weather is not quite right, it's not really it's not going to be.
Can you please go to that group and find out if Buttercup is a viable option for me? I'd really appreciate it.
Well, I'm not sure if any of them are quite as astutely aware of the horse racing culture as myself. But for you, Miss Bowen, of course, I will ask. I shall check with Mrs. Oakley. She has been attendant with me on a number of occasions, really, to the racetrack, and I won't say that she's quite as informed on the knowledge of the racing as myself. But I will go and I will check now. If that is your wish, so it is my
That
plan.
is my wish. Thank you so very much.
Are you all standing by the card table?
He scurries away. Pardon me?
No. Are you near the card table for that
They're
conversation?
sort of on the opposite side of the room.
Okay.
To you. And Mr. Oakley's going to start wandering that way. And Miss Adair, you sort of do note a quite obvious sigh of relief in Mr. Campbell at the departure of his compatriot.
I hope I wasn't intruding on anything.
Not at all.
It seemed you need a bit of help.
Oh no, I've no help. I've no time for sparring with the fellow gentry, unfortunately. Are we acquainted?
We've been acquainted once or twice. I'm Astoria Adair.
Oh yes, Miss Adair. Lovely to meet you. Your brother. I've heard of your brother, I believe.
Oh yes, Mr. Adair. Yes, he is quite the fellow, quite the one to be looking at, and up in rising reputation, of course.
Yes, I believe we may have once gotten a conversation in Tarryford at that the park bench at one time, I believe.
The park bench, you say?
Yeah.
It's such a dreary place to sit. There are better places to promenade, you realize.
I quite enjoy the park bench myself. That was the subject of the conversation with myself and your brother. But I suppose all tastes are
Is it
varied.
about the construction of the bench?
Well,
Or was there something more?
we're all quite different with what we find interesting about the bench, I suppose. I quite like the view of the pond and the ducks. I do so like to watch the ducks.
Ducks are fascinating. Why do you like looking at the ducks?
Well, I suppose they remind me of pillows, in some way.
I think they kind of remind me of clouds in the sky as they float along.
Yeah. Quite a Beautiful comparison you've made, Mr. Adair. Back to your brother, who was approaching the table. Arthur, could you please make an etiquette roll as you attempt to... I believe, is it Arthur's understanding that he's been sent to go and flirt with the single prospective people at the table? Is that his understanding, or is he doing something? Is he misunderstood?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
following a basic script here.
Okay, please make an etiquette roll.
Okay. Oh, this is a failure. It's 70 versus 30.
Okay. Please go ahead as you approach. Now, as Arthur is approaching, Isla has been standing there, at the card table. Miss Fletcher and Mrs. Oakley are just finishing up their game of cards. So, just before Arthur approaches, what has the conversation been looking like since Isla has joined them at the table?
Isla is basically disassociating watching them play cards. She 100% was just escaping a conversation, and then she's just stood there like nodding, spacing out on the card deck, not talking to the women playing the cards at all, just
I think Theodosia's gone, oh dear, do you see how the Adairs are dressed? It looks like last year's... Mr. Adair.
Greetings.
So lovely to see you, and the wonderful jacket you have on.
Thank you very much. Yes, I do realize it may be a bit out of fashion. I'm not the best at etiquette. I'm still learning. This is a new place for me, but I trust that you'll overlook it for now.
Well, of course. How could we not, right, ladies? With such charm as you have.
Mrs. Oakley smiles, and Miss Fletcher sort of just does this.
Can I psychology them around to see if I pick up on that?
Now, you are talking about psychology and not psychoanalysis, because psychoanalysis is not a skill in Regency Cthulhu.
Psychology.
Like science and drive, they are not available.
Operate heavy machinery.
That is obviously still a very renowned skill to have. No. So you're going to psychology roll?
Yep, I'm trying to pick up on if they're, again, like just not having...
Any particular member of the group?
You said Fletcher?
Miss Fletcher was sort of just like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of the people at the table other than Theodosia and Isla.
Yeah. So which is just Miss Fletcher and Mrs. Oakley.
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to read what I should do here. And I have a 10 versus 30. So, hard success.
A hard success. Miss Fletcher, who is currently scooping up the cards to begin a new game, has not actually looked up once since you've approached. It feels like she doesn't like you. And Mrs. Oakley, the impression she gets while she is giving you a kind smile at your thing, it might just sort of be just a kind smile. She may not actually agree with your sentiment.
Okay. Well, I'm here to socialize. I'm not going to let this get to me too much. So what brings you out tonight? Are you here to speak to the young Mr. Fitzwilliam?
Just anyone at the table. Well, I personally love just a chance to, just mix up the humdrum of everyday life. And if that means meeting some new people, then yes, why not? Aren't you curious about the Fitzwilliams?
Yes, very curious. I'm mostly here on business interest, I come from a sort of merchant background. It comes with money and things such as that, just so you should know.
Miss Fletcher audibly groans.
Anyway, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to exclude you from the conversation.
No, You did not exclude me for anything. She stands up. I must use the powder room, if you'll excuse me. She turns and leaves.
Well, she wears her feelings on her sleeve. Well, on her face, mostly.
Mr. Adair, if I may offer a small bit of advice.
Hmm?
You perhaps in this company don't want to go around offering that you weren't born into this type of... Most people here don't work. They may not like that there is work in your... Do you see what I'm saying? You might want to not just tell everyone that.
Yes, of course. And he turns away immediately and like looks into his hand. That was not in the script. I get to tell a story that was not in the script. He comes back, composes himself. Yes, of course. Excuse me.
If I can add to that, I also might maybe strike that part of it. The yelling at your hand portion.
Yes.
You saw that?
We're standing next to you.
We are right here. You just turned around.
Yeah, and it was out loud.
Arthur, could you please lose 2 more points of reputation?
No! I'm trying to help!
However,
No.
there are... Though people don't tend to work for survival in these types of settings, the best thing to do if you do have a job, I do, is to say something like, oh, it's to fill my time. It's important to keep my hands busy.
Yes.
That's so... Yes,
You're a
Miss
loud
Ambrose.
groan from Astoria from across the room.
Oh, it's a hobby. Oh, isn't this fun? You know?
Right,
Yes.
I write my little books. Sure.
Yes, her
Right.
little books. We all know that they're quite good.
Miss
Oh.
Oakley smiles and
Thank
says,
you. You too.
Yes, lovely advice from my companions here. Would you care to join us for a game of cards, Mr. Adair?
Yes, I would love to play. And I'd love more tips on how to act. Independently, I guess.
Where is your sister?
Oh,
And I look through the crowd, assuming you'd usually be together.
She's over in the corner still, I believe, talking to Mr. Campbell, who's been waxing on about the park bench and how ducks remind him of pillows and such things. Although, yes, if a story does not speak to him, he just stands stoically, quietly, seemingly completely content in silence.
The story is actually kind of very similar and like totally okay with silence.
Then they get along swimmingly. A few minutes later, another set of doors that come into this room, not from the parlor, open up, and 2 men walk in, ushered in by a pair of manservants. The first is a shorter man, and he has a wispy mustache, and he's small of frame, and he's definitely the older one. The other man behind him has a shock of fiery red hair, is taller, broader in the shoulder, quite comely, as they would say. A very handsome young man. And as they approach, they announce, and the older man smiles and nods to everybody. Says, "Thank you so much for coming. I am Mr. Reginald Fitzwilliam. I am very pleased to present to the Tarraford Society my son and sole heir, George Fitzwilliam." And he gestures, and George, wide-eyed and seemingly very nervous, accepts what we assume to be a raucous round of applause, and nods. A few words now from my son. Thank you for coming.
They weren't kidding, just a few.
And the applause returns, somewhat quietly at first, but then Mr. Reginald Fitzwilliam carries it up. We ask you now that you join us in the adjoining dining hall for a 2-course meal, followed by hors d'oeuvres and music. Thank you. He turns, and as the guests begin to filter into the dining room, Mr. Oakley comes to collect his wife, from the card table. Mr. What's his name? It's the other one. Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell, who is with Astoria, offers his arm to Astoria to escort her, if she takes it, to
Absolutely.
to the dining hall. And how do the other three, Mrs. Beaumont, Ambrose, and Mr. Adair? What are they actually? Do they want to quickly get up and go? Are we waiting until everybody else sort of filters through? Are we chatting amongst ourselves quietly?
I will linger a little, but not look too obvious about it. But before that, I want to say, do they seem nervous to anyone else, or do you think they're just awkward?
I was getting awkward. It just seemed like in social incompetency.
Yes.
Now, I know a thing or two about social incompetency, and I'm not quite sure
noticed.
that was it.
Oh.
What
well,
do you think it
anyway,
was, then?
something below the surface. I'm not sure, though. Perhaps we could engage them in conversation and
Yes.
discover more.
A mystery to solve. What is wrong with them?
All right, but if it does come around that they're just two awkward beings, it's going to be very, very awkward for us.
It would be very awkward for all of us.
So you walk into the dining table where the chairs are presented. Now, I will have everyone make an etiquette roll before you take your seat. Because Reginald Fitzwilliam takes his seat at the head of the table, and at the opposite end of the table, his son George Fitzwilliam takes a seat. How did we go? I saw a facial expression there, Miss Ambrose. How was your roll?
So, my etiquette is 34, and I rolled a 35.
Okay, would you like to use luck points? If you
Yeah, I'll use a luck to.
All right.
So close. It's so
For
silly.
those who are unaware, in Call of Cthulhu, we have a luck statistic, which is a statistic like anything else on your sheet you can roll on. Like, for instance, if, I don't know, you're somewhere and you're in darkness and you want to remember if you had your Zippo lighter in your pocket, you might make a luck roll to see if you were lucky enough to remember it. But you can also spend luck on a one-for-one basis to reduce your roll. So in this case, because Isla's roll was very, very close, spending just a couple of points turns that what would have been a very awkward failure into a success. Ms. Beaumont, how was your roll?
Yes, my etiquette is 36, and I rolled a 26, so that's a regular success.
Oh, well done. And Ms. Adair.
My etiquette is 42, and I rolled a 37, so successful.
Yes. And Arthur.
I have a 52 versus 30 failure.
Okay. I would say then, so when everyone else begins to take their seats, so Ms. Beaumont sits next to Miss Ambrose, who Mr. Oakley sits on the other side of Miss Ambrose, with his wife sitting opposite. Ms. Adair goes to take a seat, and Mr. Fletcher sits next to her. And Arthur, your failure is that you go to take the other seat next to your sister. And as you do so, there's sort of, people notice and there's another whisper and whatnot. Could you please lose another reputation point? Now, this is an opportunity now, Astoria, for you to explain to your brother that, this is a social event. You can't be expected to sit next to somebody who you know so well as to be in your family. You should sit next to someone you do not know. Or you can just weather the storm and have him sit down. It is up to you. Mr. Fletcher is sitting on your other side, so you're mostly arguably sorted.
What are you doing?
I'm sitting down.
Not next to me.
This part got smudged. I shook a hand earlier, and then I'm sorry. I'm going to move somewhere else. I apologize.
Why is there
Go
ink
sit
on my
next to Miss
hand?
Beaumont. Actually, go sit next to Ambrose.
Yes. Ambrose was delightful. Beaumont too. Fairly well. And he gets up and tries to shuffle as close to them as possible. Might not be possible, but
You can sit on the other side of Ms. Beaumont, then the next seat next to Miss Beaumont is Ms. Ambrose, and the next to Ms. Ambrose is Mr. Oakley, who has already tried to begin conversation with Ms. Ambrose about her creative style and where she gets her ideas, which is, as everybody knows, a question that writers love being asked. Where do you get your ideas?
It's also very funny because what she writes is women's history.
So him saying, where do you get
So
your
it's not
ideas?
uncommon
Really
for
quite a
men to
lot.
ask those questions. And she's like, mostly from women that exist.
Wonderful where
Existing and
ideas
doing
come
things. Yes, they do keep doing things.
from. Mhm.
Women.
So everyone takes a seat. There is still an empty seat for Ms. Fletcher, who has not returned from the powder room. But the first entree hors d'oeuvres are served. Could everyone please make another etiquette roll
Oh dear.
as the hors d'oeuvres come out?
It's going to be a no for me.
Okay. How badly
have
did you fail your roll, Ambrose?
I have 86.
Okay, so not a 96 or above, not quite a fumble.
No.
Okay. Ms. Beaumont?
I have a hard success.
Okay, so yes, that's all good. And Miss Adair?
Etiquette 42. I rolled a 31.
Okay. And Arthur?
19 versus 30 for a regular success, but I want to spend 4 points of luck for a hard success.
Okay.
Need
So
it.
everybody who passed knows that you should not begin eating while the last seat is not filled. Isla, you begin to drink, and yeah, there you Now, Arthur, with your hard success, not only do you know not to begin eating, but it occurs to you after perhaps 30 or 40 seconds of, silence and whatnot, it occurs to you to ask, perhaps, if anyone knows where Miss Fletcher is, if you would like to.
Does anyone know where Miss Fletcher is? Miss?
It's Miss, but it's funny that you made a mistake, because Arthur would have too.
That was him, yes. Miss. That was totally him. Yes, it's not me. Where Miss Fletcher is?
Is she still
No?
in the powder room?
And Mrs. Oakley passed us. Oh no, we were playing at cards, I believe, and she said she was going to use the powder room. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Remember that.
But she hasn't returned.
George
Shall
is
we
at
go
one
look
end of the
for her?
table just staring. Reginald at
leader.
the other end of the table is looking around.
Buddy system. I'll run to the powder room with you. It would be unpleasant to go alone.
Yes,
Oh.
we will go check
course.
on Miss
Yeah.
Fletcher.
All right, please check on Miss Fletcher, and perhaps in the meantime, someone will regale us with a tale of some kind. Perhaps a tale. Yeah.
I lean to Arthur before walking away and I go, if something's weird, we'll throw something out of the bathroom. Just
Got
look for something flying, being thrown. Cool.
Yes. Can't miss it. Got you.
How close are they to me? Can I hear this entire conversation?
Can you make a listen roll, please,
Absolutely.
Miss Adair? Because you have instructed your brother to sit away from you, so not super close. What'd you get?
Sorry, my listen's a 24 and I rolled a 21.
Oh,
Yeah.
well done. All right, so you do overhear there's something thrown from the bathroom. Very strange.
I very politely turn my attention to Miss Ambrose. Miss Ambrose, I hear that you write about women's history, and it was suggested that perhaps we should tell a tale. Is there some inside scoop that you might have about a new woman's entrepreneurship?
Oh, well, I was just stepping off to the powder room. I guess my response to that would be everyone should read my most recent book.
Yes,
chronicled
you
many
really should.
of-
It's quite good.
And
really
you know what?
should.
Actually, Mr. Oakley would love to tell you all about it. He's read it twice, in fact. So at this point, he probably knows my work better than I do.
Oh, I doubt that. I really do, but I suppose.
Would she speak as she's speaking? Astoria,
tell everybody about it. Yeah.
Astoria basically like gets up and moves pretty quickly out of here.
Okay.
I would like to use stealth if at all possible.
Stealth. It'll be a. Not a whole lot of people in the room. It's going to be an extreme stealth roll if you do want to get out of here. You can still make it.
Well, my stealth is a 40 and I rolled a 15.
Is that under your 1/5 value on your sheet?
I didn't calculate that, so somebody do math
like,
real quick.
No. You said it's 40. You have 40 normally.
Yeah.
I think that's just a
So
hard
8?
success.
That's just a hard success.
They have to be 8 or
so
under.
You can spend 7 points of luck if you would like.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So you do that, and as Mr. Oakley begins, accurately but arrogantly, we'll say, reciting Ms. Ambrose's work, and everybody's quiet. Well, he's hard to ignore, and they do not. The rest of the room does not notice as Miss Adair gets up and also leaves presumably alongside Ms. Beaumont and Ms. Ambrose.
Arthur is going to see this as a cue to sort of, now that the sister is gone, perhaps buy some more time. So I would like to, after the summary concludes, Arthur would like to regale with a tale of his experience sword fighting and his training in that. So he would like to persuade the crowd to lean in and truly listen to the skill that he's imparting through his words.
Okay. Well, the conversation is really quite a lot. Now, the three women, as they leave the dining hall, you leave through the door that goes back into that small sitting room where you all met, and from there you can move into the parlor, which is with the room with the big staircase, and those closed doors that I described to Miss Beaumont earlier on the opposite side as where the powder room is. But you can stop to talk to one another at any point during this journey.
What exactly is your inkling here?
Inkling?
Yes, you seem to have a hunch of something.
No, we just want there to be something.
Honestly, we're both quite bored at the party, so she hadn't come back from the powder room yet, and we thought we might just go pop in to powder our noses and see what could be taking her so long.
What could be keeping her?
So you're looking for an adventure in the powder room?
Yes.
Well, you never know where one might happen. Why are you out here?
Because I found it fascinating that both of you want to go to the powder room together.
I like your fan.
Thank you. I figured that it is an entirely different language of its own.
It is.
It is very much so.
Walk and talk?
Let's go.
Should we just I'm going to, as we go by that door, the two doors that are closed that are opposite the redwood
And
doors.
when you step out into the parlor with the marble staircase, that entrance hall,
Yeah.
you stepping into there?
That room is across from. Do we need to go through that room to get to the powder room?
Yeah, so the powder room is the other doors on the opposite side of that staircase.
Um,
And there is a
Yes, we
manservant standing at the door of the powder room there to open the door for you when you enter.
oh my. Yes. All right. And the doors to the powder room are. Forgive me for
Right,
my
I
faulty
should have
theater
drawn
of the
a
mind
map.
here. The doors to the powder room are different from the closed matching redwood doors.
No, those are the closed
Oh,
matching
great. That
doors are
that is the doors to the powder room.
Yeah.
Great. Good. Then I definitely want to investigate it, no matter what. So, I suppose we should just go and see if Miss Fletcher's still in the powder room.
Let's go.
The manservant opens the door for you into the room. All three of you head in together, I assume. There's a very, very illustrious sequence of sinks, and it's very well lit in here. A beautiful, gorgeous mirror. There is, of course, two other separate doors in this room which lead to the lavatories. One of which is closed, the other which is half open. The reason it's half opened is because Ms. Fletcher is lying on the floor with the door sort of, closed against her. And she is really, something is definitely wrong. You can all tell that immediately.
I would like to do a first aid check.
Well, that could occur to you, but the next thing you notice is the amount of blood that is spattered all along the inside of this lavatory stall, and the fact that she has been seemingly torn to shreds all along her back, and only her head really remains at all untouched by these horrid wounds that have been done to her. Can everybody please roll sanity upon seeing this horrendous sight? And that first aid check will matter if you want to sort of investigate these wounds.
Okay. I have an extreme success on sanity. I don't know if extreme means anything, but I did very well.
Ms. Beaumont?
I failed. 71, and my sanity is 40.
Okay.
So I like reading spooky books, but I don't like seeing spooky things.
And Mrs. Dare?
I have a success. Sanity is 65, and I rolled a 47.
Okay, so for those who succeeded, you're still going to lose 1 point. And Miss Theodosia, you are going to lose 3 points.
All right.
Sanity. That is horrid.
I do and I just hyperventilate a little bit.
Do you need some air?
Yes, I will. I just need to sit for a moment. I think. What is wrong? What has happened? What could this? Where? Oh.
Keep it
Miss
down.
Adair, you
Otherwise, we're
seem-
gonna let the rest of them.
Shouldn't they be alerted? You do seem awfully calm about this woman being shredded.
Give me 1 moment, please. And I'm gonna start looking around the area to see if there's anything on the walls or anything that could have shown where a creature or something would have ripped her apart.
Please make a spot hidden check as you look around. That's what Ms. Adair is going to do. Miss Ambrose and Ms. Beaumont, is there anything you would like to do in this scene?
I'm gonna do my best to just comfort Theodosia right now. So I'm just going
to
to
new skill in Regency Cthulhu, because while we do predate things like psychoanalysis, we do have a new skill called Reassure, which is a lovely thing that you can do to reassure somebody. Now, your basic reassurance is your appearance score divided by 5. And we can use this skill to help people when they're feeling, overwhelmed or stressed or traumatized or anything like that.
So it divided by 5 makes it a 12, and I did not take any particularly skills in reassurance, so I'm gonna do my best. The double zeros is 0
That's
and
a
not 100.
Double zero.
Damn, okay, then I did really bad. Great, yes. So, oops, really terrible. I just go, no, just look away from it. The blood, it's not there. There's not body parts or blood or
I can't stop
organs.
looking
Oh my
at it.
god, organs.
All I see is blood. It's everywhere.
Good, okay. Right, okay, yes, look away from the shredded woman. And in attempting to, I just really overly graphically describe the things that she needs to turn away from, and just go, wow, the amount of blood. How did she even have that much blood inside of her? Dear.
I think, if it's all right, in this moment, I get very sick to my stomach, and I go into the other lavatory to vomit.
So, Astoria, you rolled a 3 on your spot hidden.
I did.
Okay. So, what you notice with your extreme hot spot hidden, while poor Miss Beaumont is sort of having a trauma emphasized by Ambrose, is there's something unpleasant going on in that other lavatory. And when Miss Beaumont begins to rush to go and throw up in that lavatory, you can choose to intercept her if you would like. Or she can go in there for you.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm gonna intercept her.
So, Miss Beaumont, you're running to that other lavatory with the closed door when
Yes.
Miss Astoria Adair stops you.
I'm going to be sick, I think.
Oh, over there. Over
mistake.
that way.
Into the sink, then.
Oh. So you begin throwing up in the sink. You also lose 2 reputation points for that, Miss Beaumont. Throwing up in the
just
sink
have
is very
feelings.
unfriendly. And
She stopped me. All right, I'm down to 53. Why didn't you let me go into there?
Because I think that there might be something there useful. I'm gonna kick down the door.
kick it down, like with your foot?
Yeah.
Okay, wild. All right, you kick the door, and the door's not locked. It flies open, and where the
Excellent.
lavatory would be is instead a bunch of broken porcelain and what appears to be a burrowed hole down into beneath the house.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, in the other room, Mr. Oakley is going on and on about Ms. Ambrose's latest work, and people are sort of tuned in, but not really. Mr. Campbell is rattling his fingers impatiently. Mrs. Oakley is quite enraptured by what he has to say. Mr. Fitzwilliam Senior is sitting, nodding, and George, the young just out, Mr. Fitzwilliam, who is sitting just adjacent to Mr. Adair, leans in. Says, I don't understand what he's talking about.
It's reading. It's literature. Are you much of a reader?
Oh yeah.
What do you read?
Literature.
I surmise that. What kind of literature, I should say?
Popular kinds that many people enjoy.
Can I tell if he's doesn't know or if he's being secretive?
Could you make a psychology roll then, please?
He's an alien. He doesn't know you.
He doesn't. 65 versus my 30.
It's weird. It's hard to say. It could go either way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair
His
enough.
father at the end of the table. I think perhaps we have heard enough of what Mr. Oakley has to say about Miss Ambrose's work. When she returns, we could perhaps ask everybody what their thoughts are on her work. Wouldn't that be grand?
At this point, I know you're in the other room. Can I promised that if stuff was going down, I would throw something. So I would like to ball up a little bit of tissue and try to, like, in the door, throw it at Arthur. I'll just pop out really quick and just...
Okay. Are you trying to do this in a way that no one else will notice, or are you just trying to throw it at him?
I would like to not be seen throwing it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Can you make, let's just say a flat dexterity roll?
Okay. Did I do the dexterity? I rolled exactly my number.
That's great. Arthur, a bit of tissue hits you in the back of the head. At this point, no one does notice because everyone's listening to Mr. Reginald Fitzwilliam asking if the idea would be grand. To which Mrs. Phoebe says, so grand. It would be so grand to ask her questions upon her return from the powder room.
May I excuse myself? I will be right back. I must attend to business.
George Fitzwilliam, who's next to you, says, where are you going?
to do things, Mr. Fitzwilliam. I'm sure you understand.
Oh, yes. Things. Very well.
Things. Yes. May I go? Would you rather me stay? I didn't
You're
think
asking
so.
my permission to leave.
It was. I must go. I shall return shortly.
Very well, then. Shortly, we will see each other again.
Shortly.
Shortly.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to make my way that way.
Okay.
And as I'm exiting the room, can I just sort of scan, and maybe even if I cross into a different room, sort of that middle area, I'm trying to find any sort of decorative swords or anything that I can find like that, preferably one or more. I know
Can you
we're constantly at war.
make a spot hidden roll as you pass through that initial, the initial sitting room in which everyone met?
Cool. Cool. Duels are always happening. I don't see anything I have a failure, but I'm tempted to push.
You can push the roll. If you failed your pushed roll, you will dilly dally for quite some time.
Right. I will backtrack and sort of
Yeah.
move around the place and push it. Yes. Oh, 21 versus 25.
Excellent. All right. So, well, you didn't notice anything at first. You take a deep look and you notice that by the fireplace, where the pokers and everything are kept for the fire, has actually been presumably mistakenly placed a saber, which would have been decoratively put above the fireplace, but it is missing. And had you not taken a moment to double check, you wouldn't have seen that. But there is a decorative saber amongst the pokers and the stokers for the fireplace in the sitting room.
But it is a saber.
It is a saber.
Cool. Good to know.
Are you just
When
noting
you-
its location, or do you want to take it?
I would like to take it.
Okay.
When you get anywhere near the powder room, I'm standing there like at the door, and I'm just gonna like grab him by his collar and pull him into the like ladies' room.
Okay, what's the situation?
You immediately see the situation. Please roll sanity.
Sorry, I really should have given a warning.
No
Oh
way!
no!
99 versus 40.
No.
Huge yikes. You're going to take 6
Goodness.
points of sanity,
Oh.
which is
Oh,
above
no.
5.
Indeed it is.
Then I'm going to need you to make an intelligence roll.
Fail
Let's see if he
fail
understands what's
this.
going on. Guess what? I succeeded. He understands.
Of
31
course, this is the one you
versus 50.
succeed.
Oh.
Oh, the
Roll-
boat is
roll
opening.
again.
Open the book.
Now, for those who are watching at home, this means that because the young, poor, disreputable Arthur Adair has lost more than 5 points of sanity in one hit from seeing the truly horrific visage of Ms. Fletcher's corpse. And he has now succeeded his intelligence roll, which means he understands what's going on, which means he is going to enter a bout of madness. Could you please roll a d10 for me, Arthur? Just let me know what the result is.
Okay. We're looking at 3.
3. A red mist descends on you.
Oh no!
Explode in a spree of uncontrolled violence directed at your surrounding allies and foes alike. Are you
Oh!
a saber, Arthur?
I'm holding it.
Oh shit!
Can I get
right,
everybody's
let's do this.
dexterities? I didn't actually ask this earlier because I wasn't super expecting any combat. Theodosia, what is your dexterity?
My dexterity. I'm sorry, I lost my mind for a second. 60.
60. Arthur, what is your dexterity?
60.
Astoria.
65. I also have dodge, just in case.
Okay, yeah. And Isla.
That's a 50. And I'm right there because I grabbed him by his collar and pulled him in.
All right, I'm going to. You are. Well, you are right there. That's actually a good point. I was going to randomly determine who he attacks, but you are grabbing.
No, I did what I did. I made my choice.
All right, so beginning with Arthur, because he's initiating combat as this red mist descends. I've noted secretly here how long this is going to last. Arthur, please make an attack roll with your saber using
my
the
gosh.
appropriate skill. Isla, because you're not expecting this, you can either attempt to dodge or fight back, but if you fight back, it is going to be with a penalty die because you're not quite ready. A penalty die, of course, means you're rolling 2 dice from the tens column and choosing the worst result, or you can attempt to dodge. Arthur, just make your roll quietly, and then we'll figure out what happens.
I don't think I have anything in dodge. Half my dex. I'll try to dodge whatever he's gonna do.
Okay, so make your dodge roll. That's okay.
I did not succeed. Oh wait, it's half my dex. 35. Okay, so I'm only off by 5.
You can.
I'm
spend
willing.
5 luck points.
I'm willing to use 5 luck points to not get stabbed.
Okay. All right, so we'll
Not
spend your luck
today.
points then, and then we'll see. Arthur, what was your roll?
It's a success.
It's just
44
regular
versus
success,
50.
though?
Regular success.
Okay, all right. So the you dodge the saber attack as it comes through. Very
That
good.
would have been deep. That's a D8 plus 1 plus a D4.
Okay, that would have been a lot, but it's not over just yet.
Huh? Whee!
Astoria, you are next. What would you like to do on your turn?
This is an odd request, so totally you could say no. But I would actually love to use my dance stat and try to see if I can kind of move and disarm him with it.
Ooh, interesting.
Ooh.
Yes.
Being a dancer, I have seen it done, but
I will say it is it'll be an extreme dance roll
okay.
to do this. Arthur, because you're in a red mist, your only option is to fight back. So please make a
Sure.
fight back roll against your lovely sister.
This is bad. Oh. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so Astoria, what was your roll?
I was a 52. My dance is a 40, so I failed.
Okay, and Arthur?
Extreme success, 5
Oh.
versus 50.
Extreme success?
Extreme
Why,
success.
now you're rolling well.
Do you have your stats for the saber there? It doesn't have like extreme impale or anything on it, does it?
Oh no.
Doesn't
I
do-
mean-
Brian,
doesn't
stop.
do
Brian,
double
stop.
Yeah, I mean it does.
damage.
No!
All right.
I realize that I have fencing as well, so I probably should have used that stat better. But whatever, here we go.
Now knowing this though, would you? Because you stand to lose. What did you say the damage stat was? 1d8 plus 1 plus 4, and it's impaled. So I think it means it's either times 2 or maximum damage. It's one or the other. I think that's a lot of damage. Now, Astoria, if you have the luck to spend to bring that 52 down to what you needed, now would be the time.
I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah, could it be 15 to bring it down?
15? You needed an extreme success.
Oh, just kidding. No, I can't bring it down.
You can't.
I would use.
Can you bring it down to a hard success?
What would be a hard success from a 40?
20.
20.
Maybe. Let me see here real quick. I got a math.
Well, this is why I play Call of Cthulhu, isn't it? It's good.
Could
Yeah, I could do it. I would have to spend 20, I believe.
Okay. Okay, you
Yeah.
can. So if you would like to, if you bring it down to a hard success by spending 20 luck,
Yeah.
what we'll do is we'll mean that you still get hit, but it won't be the impaling damage. Which means it
Yes.
won't be doubled. which means it's possible for you to take a total of 3 if Arthur rolls really poorly. Okay. So have you spent that luck, or do you want to?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Arthur, please roll your damage of the saber on your poor sister.
So on the D8, I got an 8. On the D4, I got a 3. So that is 11 plus 1, 12.
Okay.
It is weird how you just started like absolutely thriving
What
with these
the
dice, right? Like everyone is noticing that it's wild that you are suddenly like master of dice.
All right.
I love this for
That's-
you. Thank you,
I-
London.
I don't like it.
Okay.
That would kill
so,
me.
Story, what is your maximum health? What is your total HP?
Great. 10.
10. Okay. Which is all right. So your hit points fall to 0. You have taken a major wound, because a major wound is when you take more than half your total hit points in one hit. So you are now dying. So your brother has skewered you with this saber, and you immediately fall limp. And as this happens, Arthur, the red mist goes away, and you are now coming to grips with what you've just done. Please lose another point of sanity, and 6 points of reputation.
Oh, Arthur.
Which is pretty grim.
I feel like this is karma. I love doing this to my players, but it doesn't feel good.
Okay. Your sister falls limp to the ground. Please make a Constitution roll, Astoria. Isla, Ambrose, and Theodosia Beaumont, how do you react?
I rush over. Oh gosh, I rush over to her. Can I tell that Arthur seems kind of normal again?
Well, I mean, normal in that, like, he's aware of what he's done. He's probably dropped the saber because he's still panicked.
Great.
The saber's still skewering
Yeah.
his sister.
Right. Can I attempt some sort of first aid check? To
You can make a
stabilize her.
first aid roll. Miss Ambrose, what would you like to do?
Okay, at this point, I have no choice but to assume that he also killed the woman in the stall. If people are
That's
just
a very
walking into the
safe
bathroom and
assumption.
impaling people,
Yeah.
what are the odds that it's going to happen from 2 different people?
Yeah,
Why would 2 different people be running around
Yeah.
murdering people in the bathroom?
Exactly.
So I'm gonna try to like get the door open. Is he like in front of the door still or anything?
I don't think so, because you pulled him in, so you're probably close to the door.
I pulled him in. Yeah, I'm looking, but Theodosia, you're going directly to apply first aid, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna push out of the bathroom. You're all excellent. She don't know you that well yet. And I'm gonna look around for something heavy in like the main area for like defense.
So you run out of the powder room into the entrance hall with the big staircase and the entrance to the little side room. There's also, if everyone recall, the devotees of the stream will remember, I described the big heavy vases on the tables that were being fastidiously attended to by the various manservants, none of whom are there like right now, which is great.
I would love a big heavy vase.
Okay, you can grab a big heavy vase. Theodosia, have that roll go.
I rolled a 1.
Did you really?
I did, yeah.
You're now absolutely,
Rip.
positively sure she is dead. Killed almost instantly.
Oh no! I can't! I go, no! But I know exactly what to do, but it's not good enough because she's already dead!
Arthur, what would you like to do?
That was such a good roll!
I don't know, he's still coming too. But he's just going to be heartbroken, crying, like just at his sister's side. Like he was not there when this happened. And he repeatedly says that over and over and over again. And he's just surrounded by this and then the other thing. And it's just a lot. But he repeatedly just says that he didn't mean to, that he wasn't there. And he just wants to fix this but obviously it's unfixable. He's kind of helpless in this moment.
Is there nothing we can do? What?
I wasn't there. I wasn't there. It's all. The carnage,
Miss Ambrose, are you still out in the hallway while this conversation is happening? Oh, sorry, in the hall? Or have you returned to the room with the base?
So I didn't want to interrupt. My intention was to just like push the door open, and hold it open with the vase there.
Okay, sure. So you can stand and observe the scene. Pardon me, I just wasn't sure whether you're here or not in the room.
Thank you.
Sorry, Arthur, you were saying.
This was my sister. My dearest sister. I feel like I don't have words without her, and I would not do this willingly.
Ms. Beaumont, could you please make an etiquette roll? And Ms. Ambrose also make an etiquette roll.
No, this is failure. I've got a 64 over 34.
Okay.
No, I rolled an 83, so I definitely failed that.
Okay. And lastly, Arthur, please make an etiquette roll.
Failure. 62 versus 30.
That's all right. Etiquette doesn't really dictate what you should do in this situation, as is established.
Can I tell, looking at him, can I tell that he means this? That he is genuinely regretful?
Sincere. If you would like, you can make a psychology roll if you would like. I do not think London the player is trying to deceive.
Right, I don't think so either.
So I think it's to be quite sincere.
I can persuade if need be.
Listen, what do we do now? Because something is killing people. I don't know what happened to Miss Fletcher, and then I don't know what we do about your sister. Perhaps there's a doctor or something. Maybe it's not too late, but what do we do? Excuse me, but you're the man here. You're the one with the power, so what do we do? Decide. That's what your sister would want.
We have to get rid of the sword. We have to hide the sword, and then deal with whatever is killing others. Because if this has just happened here, it's going to happen again. There'll be more than just two bodies here.
It just did happen again. Again.
This was not me. This, Mrs. Fletcher, was not me. Something is out to kill tonight. And we have to stop it before this happens again. I would not do this of my own accord. I loved my sister, and I feel like a half of me has been torn from this earth. We can sort this out once we figure everything out, but we must hide the sword for now. I will say my prayers and let whatever needs to happen to me happen after this is sorted. Yes, I did it. Does it matter if I was there or not? I know not. But for now, we must continue. These are my words.
Well, Miss Beaumont, Miss Ambrose, how do you react to this?
I think that Isla is like a little bit frozen in this. She believes that something has happened, but doesn't feel like safe, obviously. So I'm going to take to a stance next to Theodosia to the best of my ability, and just like right next to her, and just go, we should alert people, shouldn't we, of something. It's whatever it is, more people shouldn't have to die for it. People should know this is happening.
Are you sure there's nothing we can do for her? Absolutely nothing.
You have been gone for a little while now. It's very likely someone will be sent to look after where all you are. The other option, of course, is to do what Ms. Ambrose is suggesting and return to the dinner and inform Mrs. Fitzwilliams what has occurred in their home.
There's a man in there that should know that his wife is dead.
What?
I don't want to hurt anyone here. I will comply with whatever you decide.
I suppose we should go tell everyone.
For now, for the sake of people focusing on the correct issue, we will say, unfortunately, that whatever happened got both of them. Understood?
Understood.
Thought
Okay.
this mystery would be much more fun.
I did as
A little
well.
haggard. In the case of Arthur, you're a little blood spattered, but honestly, in that outfit, who's going to notice?
Yeah, the outfit's not bad.
Collectively, I'm going to say somewhat morosely, particularly in the case of Arthur. Back through the hall, through the sitting room. Is that a real tear? You're killing me. You're killing me.
You did not see anything, Ryan.
Beautiful. And back into the dinner, where everybody is still sitting quietly. There's been a bit of chatter. The entrees are still untouched. Upon your return, Mr. Reginald Fitzwilliam, looks up. Oh, very well. You've returned. Well done. So few of you have returned. I have follow-up questions.
You should.
And Mr. Campbell, who was sitting next to Miss Adair, looks up. Says, "Good grief. Something must be terribly wrong. Look at the morose look upon your faces. Your countenance is truly undone."
I would like to roll a
Mr.
psychology
Campbell.
check on him.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, please go ahead.
I just want to say we got some terrible news from back home. Received an urgent letter suddenly, and that's the reason we're so grim at the moment. I relate to our new friends here, but yes, the Adair household back home is not doing so well. But that's the reason why.
George Fitzwilliam turns to you from the chair. The letter, was it literature?
No, it's personal, familial in nature. I want to persuade Campbell into that we're fine. It's just something else, or fast talk, whichever. To get
And
him
I
off of
was
our tails.
psychology checking him as well.
Oh yes,
And,
how did your psychology check go?
I have an extreme success.
An extreme success. He seems genuinely worried. And he is so far the only one to notice that clearly all three of you look somewhat upset. And while
Okay.
he's stilted in his acknowledgement of it, he seems sincere.
If I can whisper to Arthur, is it how close is this room? Can I successfully whisper to Arthur without everyone hearing us?
Oh yeah, you can. You could turn to him. I mean, people would see that you're speaking to him because everyone's attention
Right.
is on you, but they won't necessarily ever hear you.
I thought that we were coming in here to tell them.
I know, but
No, this is how you look guilty.
Are you keeping me out of this?
We were
Is that
telling
weird?
them that something struck the both of them and not that you did it.
I'm
How are
trying
we
to
supposed
keep
to go
it
in there and
together.
say we just got a letter and there's 2 dead people in the bathroom?
Both can be true. Both can be true.
I would think that the letter might not take precedent in that scenario.
Well, I didn't go into the bathroom.
You've put us in a very difficult position for the 2 of us.
And at that moment, Miss Adair returns to the dining hall.
Excuse me, but there seems to be a dead body in the bathroom.
You right back. We're going to take a 5-minute break and we'll see you after the jump.
Brian, no!
For what?
Welcome back. to a very special stream of chaos in which we are playing Regency Cthulhu, which is available right now on chaosium.com. Worldwide, you can check it. It's the link and the book are on screen now. It is beautiful. We're having a wonderful, wholesome time here at Hellbrook Manor, just outside of Tarryford in merry old England, where the formerly dead Miss Astoria Adair has just returned to the dining hall, where Isla Ambrose, Theodosia Beaumont, and Arthur Adair were just informing the other guests of the dinner that there has been, I believe, something truly, truly horrible happen in the powder.
Before everybody gets up in alarm, the appropriate authorities have been alerted, so no sense in getting up in arms. Everybody go ahead and sit down and continue eating.
And then Reginald Fitzwilliam, sorry, I keep doing that. It's Fitzwilliam, smiles. Says, "Oh, yes, well, jolly good. We shall then proceed with our dinner. Our entrees have unfortunately dropped a little bit in temperature in the time that has passed. But please do resume your seats. Thank you, Miss Adair, for taking care of notifying the authorities."
Absolutely. It is my pleasure to help you, Mr. Fitzwilliams.
And Mr. Cecil Oakley is a little confused. I'm sorry. What exactly happened to Miss Fletcher there? Miss Ambrose, you said something was wrong with Miss Fletcher?
Sorry, just for Saige clarification. Astoria walked in and said there was a dead body in the bathroom?
Yes, I believe so.
Great. Didn't specify who.
I don't think so.
Okay. I when asked, I look at Theodosia really quick and I just go, what? Oh, no, you know what? Actually, look, I'm not terribly concerned with the etiquette of what happens next, or doing the thing that's not going to make some of you, one of you, possibly many of you, including you, and she points at Astoria, become suddenly very hostile. Because, no, that woman is dead in the bathroom and all of you are continuing to, eat hors d'oeuvres. That's the... Authorities being called is not enough. Why is there not any...
I threw up when I saw that she was... When I saw the body, and you're all just sitting there, and what? Just I'm gonna look at Ms. Adair. Does she look like? Is there like blood on her dress, or a hole in her, or anything, or is she just?
She's actually wearing a slightly different outfit, but her outfit to begin with was so horrendous, no one's really noticed.
Oh.
But there is no hole.
How does
Arthur is
everyone respond
quiet.
to me being like, hey, why are you not freaking out about a dead body?
So, George and Reginald remain quiet, and they've already begun eating. Mr. Cecil, your number one fan, was a bit confused as well. That's why he's asked again to confirm there is a dead body. You've said that. And his wife next to him looks equally confused. And Mr. Campbell, who is sitting next to Miss Adair, is looking at Miss Adair and seems to be asking her quietly to confirm, like, oh, you said the authorities were notified. Is that what you said? But
That
is she
is
perish?
correct. But you should continue eating.
Oh, well,
Dinner.
that really proper? Is it? Should we perhaps leave if there's? Well, what happened?
No need to leave. You should continue eating.
And George also nods. Says, yes. Well, with the authorities on their way, everything should be all right, and there is no reason to be alarmed or upset.
Aren't you any of you wondering how she died? The authorities are coming to deal with the body, sure, but that doesn't answer any questions. Why don't any one of you have a question? And I would like to pick up if there is a dinner knife on the table.
Yes, and when you do, there is a gasp. Oh, everyone's.
Oh, so now you have the ability to react and respond to human emotions. How fascinating. That suddenly that's activated in you.
Reginald stands up. Reginald Fitzwilliam. I believe Ms. Ambrose is correct. There has clearly been a murder most foul, happen in my home here in Hellbrook Manor tonight. And with the authorities notified, I shan't see anybody leave because the murderer or murderess may still be among us. So, everybody please sit down. We shall await the authorities. Unless anybody should like to confess to what they have done. I don't want anyone to leave and perhaps see the horrendous state that Miss Fletcher may or may not be in, for it may even horrify you to see. So please, Miss Ambrose, Miss Beaumont, Mr. Adair, sit down. We shall make sure the room is tight when the authorities arrive.
No,
Sure, they will
absolutely
have
not.
questions.
Heading to the door, grabbing Theodosia and turning to Arthur, not grabbing onto Arthur and just going, I don't know what this is. I don't know what you did, and that is not your sister, and I'm leaving.
It's not my sister, you're right. Are we going, Theodosia? Or can I go?
I'm pulling Theodosia, so.
Yes. Oh, I think I'm going. Just you.
If you pull against, absolutely she will let go, but she is like ushering you.
No, yeah,
Do
she's just
you
letting herself
three-
be
Do
taken.
you three realize the breach of etiquette you are causing here?
Excuse me.
Arthur, sit down.
Can I
Mm,
examine her in some way? Can I look at her and figure out if something's not right with her?
What kind of role, what kind of way were you thinking? Considering, short of going and physically examining her, which obviously will have its own problems.
Right. I don't know.
Psychology, maybe?
It's so bad. I kind of wanted to argue spot hidden. Like, is there something about her that if I just observe really well, I'll be able to see, like, there's a little button on the back of her neck that turns her off. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see. You give me an extreme spot hidden roll. Maybe you could spot something.
Okay, this is slightly better than my regular psychology, so I'm just gonna take it.
Okay.
I rolled a 6, and an extreme on my spot hidden just needs to be under a 15. So
Wow,
I did
you got a
do
big
it.
spot hidden. Okay.
I put a lot into it because I thought it was important.
All you really that's occurred to you is in the time that you came in here and left Mr. Dare in the other room dead, and you got that extreme success. There was no doubt in your mind. She was 100% dead as a doornail. And if she somehow wasn't still in that time, how did she manage to change her clothes?
Right.
There is something very strange about her bodice. This area of her clothing. It is hard for you to say, but it is. I mean, apart from the way she's acting and whatnot.
Right.
I would like to make a different check, if I may.
Yes.
I would love to once again roll psychology, and I would like to see, comparatively, how similarly Astoria is acting to the Fitzwilliams in
That's
their
great.
response.
Okay. Your psychology roll.
Ooh, 15.
15.
That's great. Yeah, my psychology is 50.
Okay, so that's it's definitely a hard
It's
success.
a hard success.
So not only do you notice that, she's definitely Mr. Dare. She looks like Mr. Dare. She has the voice of Mr. Dare. But the stilted way in which she is speaking and her voice is almost identical to that of the Fitzwilliam gentleman.
Yep. Okay. I will share that information with Theodosia, and I'm just gonna go. Whatever it is that has come back and replaced Astoria is the same thing as Mr. Fitzwilliams and his son. Those are not people. Those are not the people that we know.
Miss
Something's
Ambrose.
not right about her.
George. Miss Ambrose. Has no one ever
close is he
told
to
you it
me?
is rude to whisper?
How close is he to me?
Relatively.
Yeah. What does stabbing use? Is that my brawl?
I believe, unless there's a weaponry stab, I'm pretty sure it's brawl.
Excellent. I'm gonna stab him.
You're gonna stab with the knife.
Yeah, I picked up a table knife.
Right.
Don't get close to me. Don't ask weird questions. I don't like what's going on here.
Make your roll. He is completely unmoving, so you can have it do it with a bonus die, which means you're gonna roll an extra 10s die and take the better result.
Okay. Perfect. That's a 26. My brawl is a 45.
Wow. Well done. Not quite a hard set, but please roll your damage die. Have you got written there? You don't want to have it written for a knife.
I don't have it written for a knife.
I believe a knife is going to be 1d4 plus whatever your damage bonus is, if you've got a damage bonus, which likely to be 0 or 1, I would say.
I don't have a damage bonus. So that's 3.
You rolled a 3? Okay.
Yeah.
So you, where were you trying to stab it? Anywhere in particular?
As I have a little bit of brawl skill, but I am not a fighter by nature. So I'm just gonna try and like plunge it into his shoulder, essentially.
Okay. Yes. You stab him, and the knife goes into his shoulder. It goes in, and you said you pull it out again?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. And he looks down at it, and he looks up, and he says, "Well, that was exceptionally rude."
Yep. Okay.
And then now Cecil and his wife scream and stand up. Mr. Campbell stands up so fast his chair flies back. He's backing up out of the room. The two Fitzwilliams and Miss Adair remain seated. Reginald looks out across everybody and says, "This is truly, truly unpleasant. I think we have found our murderess. Who else would be coming into my manor, stabbing and slicing?" And he looks to his other guests. And Cecil and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Oakley, have stepped aside. And Cecil looks mortified. Your writing is so beautiful. I don't understand why you would stab somebody. And Mr. Campbell is just quietly, he's backing further away, further and further away.
Arthur, you tell them what you saw.
It was not her. I assure you it was not her. She did not kill Fletcher.
Arthur,
She's in defense.
please stop talking. You're
You
going
cannot-
to ruin your reputation.
You cannot tell me what to do. Reputation does not dictate you or me. You are not my sister. You are not my sister, and I assure you, these are monsters that are in our midst.
What makes
My-
you think I'm not your sister? I know where you came from. I know the boat that you sailed on. I know the bench that you shared a kiss on. Need I
That's
go further?
well. Who was the kiss
Sit.
with?
Sit.
Who was
down.
the kiss with? Sister?
You really want me to reveal that
Yes.
now?
Yes. If you are my sister.
Was it
She is an
Mr. or
imposter.
Miss? Which one would you like me to describe?
If you're really my sister, you would know. This is an imposter. And I'm trying to persuade the humans in this room that there are monsters among us.
Please make a persuasion roll.
Success. That is a 49 versus 70.
Okay. So Mr. Campbell steps forward. Something strange is truly happening. And I'll hear none of it. My
That's an
father is,
understatement.
as you know, my father is the master of the Tarryford City Watch. If the authorities have indeed been notified, he will be along very soon, and I will undergo a preliminary investigation. Now, with all due respect to Mrs. Fitzwilliams, I would like to see this body first. You may all continue with your dinner, but I will hear none of it. Mr. Adair, please.
I will be going
lead me
with
to
you.
the bathroom. Miss
I will
Amber,
also go.
Yes.
We
I
saw
want
what
to know if
happened in
that
there.
body has been reanimated as well.
Miss
And
Amber.
as we get out of the dining room, I would love to tell him that Astoria died.
Well, Reginald, having heard the appeal, nods at Mr. Campbell, says, well, very well. Go and investigate, and the rest of us, please, Mr. and Mrs. Oakley, sit. Enjoy the lovely meal that has been prepared.
Maybe we shouldn't leave them alone with them.
I don't know what we can
Oh, you're
do.
right. Of course, Miss
stabbing a
Adair,
kitchen knife was
I'm
not
sure
right.
you will want to accompany your brother. For if there is a murderer on the loose, you'll want to keep him safe.
I think that the corpse should stay.
Mr. Campbell gets very up in arms and says, now please, Miss Ambrose, I'll hear no more of that. I'm quite fond of Miss Adair.
I actually think you should hear the first of it before you proceed.
Well, until we
She was
have proof
killed.
of it, I think it is fair if she wants to accompany us.
She was killed.
She
My
was
sister
killed.
perished.
I
Yes.
saw her dead body in the bathroom next to Mrs. Fitzwilliams.
Yes,
She was
I-
impaled.
It
I
sounds
checked.
like that
was
she's
quite
trying to
dead.
write her next novel. Everybody calm down.
First of all, my novels aren't fiction, okay? They're literally history. They're stories of actual women. One of you men, I swear to God, go outside and meet a woman. Just once have a real conversation with one of us. And second of all,
Actual women who murder. Yes, you're writing your own story.
Miss Ambrose,
She-
I don't mean to offend you, but you understand how it
Go
is
for
difficult
it.
for me to believe that she would be dead when she is so clearly standing here in front of me.
oh,
Front
so
of all
you're
of
quite familiar with Astoria, and this is usually how she acts?
But to be perfectly frank, yes. Telling her brother what to do? Sitting there fanning herself? Quite arrogant, but in that sort of quiet, solemn, and attractive way.
I mean, it's everything. You have no attention to detail whatsoever. You've not paid attention to a single actual aspect of her actual personality.
Is there blood on from when I checked and did my first aid check? Would there be blood on me from Astoria?
Yes.
I'll say, where did this come from, then? I know it's hard to believe, but she was dead on the floor, and I checked to see if she was alive, and she was not, and this is her blood on me. It stained my very nice dress.
And what
Why
has Miss
does
Fletcher
this-
then?
Sounds like that's an accomplice there.
If you aren't
No.
really dead, then I'm not an accomplice to anything, am I? What is happening? This is madness.
Fine, come to the bathroom. Come. We'll all go together.
I'll come along.
The authorities
Yes.
have not been alerted, to be clear. No one is coming to help us.
Don't know that. My father is an astute man. A proud
Great.
Great,
been
and
told.
unless he's a mind reader, he hasn't been informed.
Well, I can inform him as soon as I see the crime with my own eyes.
Let's
I
go.
love
We'll
that it's
show
about to not be
you.
there.
Okay.
My eyes are just
Believe.
locked on Astoria and just sort of watching. I'm watching for any sort of out of place move at all as we go.
So you move. You begin to move back to the powder room. Astoria, are you coming along with them, or are you staying there, or is there going to be?
I'm
There's-
gonna follow along because I want to make sure that my brother is okay.
Okay. So you all move from the dining hall through the sitting room, out into the main hall, where the door to the powder room stands open. Mr. Campbell stands at the door of the powder room and gestures for the witnesses to lead and show him what has run afoul.
Yes, should we... It was here, so on the floor of the bathroom. Is there blood or anything from where Astoria...
Look, there's still a lot of blood here. There's still that open lavatory door with the tunnel and the broken porcelain and everything, but the body of Mrs. Fletcher is not here.
Of course it's not.
Ah.
I knew it... Well, you can see that there's blood. Something happened here. And look, a tunnel of some sort. Maybe go down there. Miss Adair, maybe you should lead the way.
Well, it just seems like it would maybe lead to a basement of sorts.
A hole in the bathroom?
That makes a lot of sense.
Or a lower
Not.
level.
Through a hole in the floor of the bathroom? Does
Well,
anyone else's...
There's an awful lot of blood here, but whence? From where did the blood come?
Well,
The body that was here and has probably been taken down into this mysterious lair under the floor.
So perhaps there's another way we can go down there instead of going through this hole.
Why? Why not take the route that's here?
You're dodging.
Because if you are suggesting that there was something that took her body down there, would you really want to go down a hole?
I
no,
don't
we
see
don't
much
want
choice.
to.
So might I suggest a different route?
Do you know one?
Perhaps?
You've never been... None of us have ever been in this house before. How would you know?
Most houses are built very similarly.
Good answer.
Shall we?
I kind of want to just jump in there.
That's
Well, very well. If you know there's a way downstairs, we can surely investigate it. But I'm becoming more and more suspicious.
Why would you be
Well.
suspicious, Mr. Campbell?
The murder. Probably because of the murder. And the blood everywhere.
Yes. But there are also many tall tales. And I've yet to see any hard evidence of any murder, except for the whereabouts of Miss Fletcher herself.
All right.
Exactly. So if you would like to elect to stay here and go down the hole, might I suggest then that Mr. Campbell come with me and we will meet you downstairs?
No.
No.
I will go into the hole, and any true gentleman would follow me in order to protect me, and I will just go down there.
Okay. Can you make a climb roll for me, please? As you
Yes.
walk through this sewage-laden hole in the the concrete floor.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe how well this is going. This is gonna mess up. I got rolled another 6. So that's a hard success.
Hard success. So you are all
Yeah.
good. You do not damage yourself on the way down. It is very dark down here. It is dank. You are definitely in a basement.
All right.
But you are safe. You can look at. You're only about. You can see the roof that you climb down above, and you can look up, and you can see the light from the powder room. So you can call up and say, "I'm down," or whatever it is you'd like to do.
All right, I'm down here. It does look like a basement, and like I said, any true gentleman would want to come down here after me to make sure I'm safe.
Of course,
Well,
of course.
Mr.
I will go next, unless Arthur, you've reason to go before me. But there's no
Mr.
right.
Campbell, why don't you stay here with me, as my brother should be more of a Gentile man.
a very good point from your sister.
No. No,
I
actually.
think that you should go down, and I shall stay here with my sister momentarily. I will follow you.
Very well. And Mr. Campbell moves forward, and he rolls up his sleeves and dives down into the hole in the floor where he finds Miss Beaumont down there. He spits. He goes, "Oh, golly. Truly outrageous down here, I must say."
It is
I'll follow.
quite smelly on the way down,
No,
yes.
it's quite bad. Just trying to look.
Do you have a light, perhaps? We could see a bit more.
Yes. Is there a
match.
light or anything down here? Anything at all? Who else? So, Ms. Ambrose, you said you were coming down.
I did say I was already coming down, so it's too late for me to grab a light.
That's okay.
I'm still up.
The siblings are there.
Shall we go find a light, Arthur?
I want to look around in this room to see if there's any loose light I could take. Maybe some sort of lantern.
It is a lit room. There's a candle in the corner, a little, like a honk snoo best sleep my life type candle stick holder thing.
Yeah. I want to take that. I want to look at Astoria. There's one right here. I'm going to take this, and then I'm going down. Okay.
All right. Well, I prefer my way, as I don't want to mess up my dress.
Go that way. Meet us down there.
You sure you don't want to keep eyes on me?
I'm sure we'll see you again. We'll be ready.
Bye-bye, brother.
See you
And
soon.
Mr. Adair leaves to find the other route into the basement. Arthur, you are coming down to join the others.
Yes, this way.
It is quite smelly down here and dank, but you've got the light so you can see around. There's an awful number of crates down here, as we know that Mr. Reginald was a very purported student of the world and did a lot of travel. And the fact that he's down here, so he's clearly collected a number of things from all over. So you can see some crates nearby. There is a door on the far end of the basement, which presumably leads to the staircase up, which is where Miss Adair is going to try and find her way down. And there is a very, very strange sort of smell. Have you ever accidentally forgot about your laundry in the washing machine and it gets that horrid sort of stale smell? Yeah. It's like that, but also kind of laced with, I don't know, some sort of maybe alcoholic type smell. It's a bit strange, almost as if almost the scent you might smell on someone's breath if they've been in their cups. What would each of you like to do, remembering that Mr. Campbell is here with you?
I would like to search around for any sign of Miss Fletcher or some sort of, or anything that could have ripped her to shreds. Is a creature down here, or is her body down here?
Please make a spot hidden roll.
Oh my gosh. I rolled a 4.
Crushing it.
I've never rolled this well. Part of me thinks I should put that die away, but that would be dumb because it's hot. It's real hot right now. I rolled a 4.
Miss Ambrose and Mr. Adair, while Miss Beaumont is searching for any sign of Miss Fletcher, what would each of you like to do?
I'm keeping a very close eye on Mr. Campbell, observing just like the way that he does everything. As somebody who is an author by profession, but a journalist by hobby, I study people. It is what I do, and I write about them. So I would like to just study the way that he takes them in, the way that he watches Miss Beaumont, all of it. I am just locked on him.
Okay, that's what. So you're locking on Mr. Campbell.
And making sure he's not being like persuaded by Astoria.
Okay. And Mr. Adair.
I want to keep my perceptive powers sharp. I'm just like anything that I can see with the candle's light, or like listening, just to make sure that we're not sort of surprised by something as we do our things here.
Okay.
So I can alert before that happens.
Sure do. So, Mr. Campbell is following Miss Beaumont as she searches. He seems, as Ms. Ambrose studies him, he seems genuinely concerned, maybe even a little bit frightened, because it's dark down here and there's a lot going on that he has to take in. and Mr. Adair is making sure you're not going to get ambushed by anything. Now, Miss Ambrose, you only take a few... sorry, not Miss Ambrose, Miss Beaumont. You only take a few steps around a very large pile of crates when you first notice a trail on the floor. It looks like dried brown paint smeared on the concrete floor, leading behind the crates.
Interesting. It looks like dried brown paint. Does it
Yes.
smell like dried brown paint?
If you want to get down and smell it.
Oh dear. Yes.
What is your first aid score?
I have 30 in first aid.
Okay. As you get closer in the light, you can see this is actually dried blood.
Yes. That's what I thought.
Dried, though. Interesting.
Dried blood. There's something over here, but it seems old.
Good golly, what have you found?
I think it's a path of dried blood.
Oh, heavens.
Indeed.
Mrs. Ambrose, Miss Adair, you must see this.
This
Oh.
is not, this seems to be a regular occurrence. Blood.
Yes, this isn't
This place.
fresh enough. If it's a dried, it couldn't possibly be from Miss Fletcher.
Then
Exactly.
who is it? Who or what is it from?
It leads behind these crates where you cannot see from where you're standing.
Mr.
Let's
Adair, you have the candle.
And the
Do
low
you want to see,
sanity.
though? Maybe not. Wait. We know what happened the last time Mr. Adair saw something awful.
Actually,
So-
completely agree. I think that's very smart.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take a look. If you would prefer.
Yes, why don't you? I think you're the one with the clearest head of the group.
I reach out for the candle. And with my knife in one hand and a candle in the other, I will peek around the boxes.
Mr. Adair, while you're still trying to look around, make sure you don't get ambushed or anything like that. You do note that on the ceiling around here is quite a lot of spider webs. Now you have your own estate with your own basement. You know that spider webs happen in neglected parts of the house, but there's quite a lot of spider webs. But, you know, Mr. Fitzwilliam doesn't spend a lot of time in his home. Maybe they just haven't got around to cleaning this place. It's not like you've seen servants all through the house fastidiously cleaning surfaces, opening doors for people and bringing out things. Maybe they just haven't gotten down to cleaning all the spider webs. Now, Ms. Ambrose, you look around the corner and you find there's a big wall of crates now. You're looking about where this blood trail leads. The back of one of the crates is actually broken open, and what looks like fresh, moist earth has spilled out of the crate. And in this earth is what looks like a bunch of what's a sport they had back then? Tennis? I don't know. Some. I'm just gonna say, by 2022 standards,
Probably wiffle ball.
a bunch of wiffle ball-sized spheroids that are sort of laying amongst the dirt, almost like big, sickly-looking pearls.
Oh no.
Some of them are
eggs.
broken and some of them are solid and thick, and they seem to have spilled out here. And the edges of the crate are also caked in this dried blood. As you get
Okay.
even closer, can everybody looking at this please make a spot hidden roll?
Mm-hmm. Now, Saige understands exactly what this is.
So does London.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, I'm less certain. I've got a 19 on spot hidden. How is my spot hidden? That's a success.
Okay.
I have a 45 for spot hidden.
I have a regular success, a 54 out of 75.
I failed once again.
That's okay. So those of you who pass, you see amongst this loose soil and these weird spheroids are strips of flesh and
Oh.
bones. Mr. Campbell sees this and he covers his mouth. Ooh, oh God, and he throws up onto the floor.
It's all right, Mr. Campbell. I did the same thing earlier. It will damage your reputation, though, I'm afraid.
They're eggs. We understand they're eggs. Can I realistically possibly know that? I mean, I've seen eggs.
You've seen eggs. They look like eggs, particularly because some of them are broken. But the fact is that they're they're not an egg shape. They're like spherical.
They're not chicken eggs, yeah.
They're not chicken eggs, but and some of them are broken. Yeah, exactly.
And is Astoria behind us? Did Astoria come down or did Astoria stay up?
Astoria went to find another way to the basement that wasn't going to ruin it. Yeah.
Okay, Arthur, I'm pretty sure what's not in that shell is in your sister.
Like some sort of what?
I'm going to
She's a puppet?
forgive me. I'm gonna reach in and grab one of those spheres and smash it on the ground.
You're going to release it?
We need to know what's in it. Oh no!
One of us is gonna get a brain worm.
Sorry.
The book is out.
It's a baby, though, right?
You crack it open and something goes scuttling out of it almost immediately. Please make a spot hidden roll, and this thing is going to roll its stealth. You're going to need an extreme success.
I don't. I have a regular success.
Oh shoot!
Nope.
I've got 20 to 45. I think that's
I have
regular.
a
That's
hard
right?
success.
That might
I'm
be
gonna
hard,
spend
yeah.
10 luck points to make it an extreme success.
Okay. Mr. Adair?
Failure,
Since
66.
this is my responsibility since I did it.
Okay, so you spent your luck. Okay. You see it. This weird thing. Not quick enough for you to really discern exactly what it is, but something fell out of the egg and is now scurrying up the wall to your right.
Like it has legs.
Yes.
I'll say, Miss Ambrose, stab that, and I'll try and point at it as it's scurrying.
I'm gonna try.
It's okay. You're gonna try. Okay, this thing is going to try and jump. So please make your fighting roll. It's going to make its jump roll.
I'm so sorry I did this.
It rolled a
I'd like to
9,
push.
which is an extreme success.
Oh, I don't think I can beat an extreme success. Okay. I think I gotta push the roll. I gotta try.
Okay, you're gonna push the roll. Okay, if you fail this, one of your allies is going to get hurt rather than the spider.
Oh no, and we're so squishy babies. Okay. Great. I'll miss the stab. I'm not gonna stab anybody. We saw what happened last time. No, because then that thing's gonna crawl in your brain.
Okay,
You being
fair
dead gives another one to them.
Yeah.
Great love for that.
Miss Beaumont,
Yes.
you feel something
Oh, no.
scurrying in your skin.
It's on me! It's on me! It's on me!
No.
Please make a power roll.
I brought this on myself.
This thing got a success at 68.
I rolled a 5.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay.
That's a hard success. It's not
For a
quite
moment,
extreme.
for a moment, your vision goes black. Just for a moment. And for a moment, your mind is flooded with the thoughts and feelings of an alternative being. Stoicism and etiquette and perfect, unrelenting absence of rudeness. But you push this away. And you see that you slap
Damn
it.
it!
And you slap and you feel it at the base of your spine, and you slap and you crush it and you pull it away. And this dead, weird spider, which appears to be not furry like a lot of big hand-sized spiders are, it is completely...
You would know.
It is completely fleshy. You know, like a Sphinx cat? It is like that, but a spider, and you've crushed it.
Oh, I think this is what is controlling people. And I'll drop it.
Oh.
Okay,
This...
great. There's the rest of them.
What do we do? Do we
I'm
burn
gonna-
them?
I'm gonna make a bold move here, and I'm gonna push him into the box. Gently.
Push who?
No, not the people, the little eggs. I'm gonna try and sweep them back up into the crate.
As before Miss Ambrose does this, Miss Beaumont, you could note to Miss Ambrose, as someone who touched the egg, just how delicate the egg did feel in your hand.
Be very careful. It was... I basically broke it before it even smashed on the ground.
Okay. Also, Arthur, were you gonna say something?
No, nothing of note.
I don't know what.
Mr. Campbell is like, I don't understand what this is. This is... I don't... What do you mean? They're just spiders. They're big spiders. They must be from Africa or Indonesia or somewhere where Mr. Fitzwilliam has traveled. They're just... What do you mean it was changing?
They might be from somewhere like that, but this thing latched onto me and I felt it infiltrate my brain with thoughts of etiquette and stoicism, and that's not me at all.
They must be attached to the Fitzwilliams and to my sister, and that is the cause here, and we need to make sure that they're cleared off and that they cannot attach to anything else or anyone else.
Yes.
All right. Well, surely we must go and let everyone else at the dinner party know that this is a threat. If this is something that's happening, surely.
Right.
Or if you do that, I can go. I can take Mr. Adair and we can go and warn them. And you can destroy the rest of the eggs or put them back in. I don't know. What do we want to do?
We don't want to we don't know how to destroy them. It's not that we don't want to destroy them. We don't know how. Smashing them only released it.
Smashing them is not good. We could try and burn them. But then what do we do about Ms. Adair? Can she be saved if we pull this thing out of her, or...
I'm not sure.
I want to try, but again, my better judgment tells me that it's dangerous.
And the problem is that she was dead beforehand. I don't know what
She was dead. She was quite dead.
She
I
was.
don't know how we could possibly bring her back.
Where is she now? Maybe we should find her.
That's a very good idea.
At that moment, the doors to the basement open, and Miss Adair, having found the alternative route downstairs, returns.
Oh,
Why are you being so rude?
Oh.
This voice you've never heard before. Now suddenly, Miss Adair's arms sort of lift up at a weird, strange angle. Her shoulder blades distend and break free of her back, flipping up over the sides of her head where they grow like long, spindly claws, dripping in this sort of visceral, disgusting pink. From her sternum sprout two long, horrid legs, and her jaw splits open and distends further, thick, horrid, poisonous goo pouring up from somewhere deep inside her. Everybody please roll sanity. I will roll for Mr. Campbell.
That's
my sanity is so low, girl.
Where's the threshold for the big, very bad roll?
That's insanity. It's only if you fail or succeed. There's no... unless...
Oh, great.
That's okay.
Great. Then I just failed.
But the threshold for a fumble, I believe, is a 96 up.
Okay, I had a 93.
Ooh.
All right. So, Miss Ambrose, at the side of this, you are going to lose 4 sanity points. Miss Beaumont, did you succeed?
No, Jordan.
What? You did?
I failed.
Oh, you
No,
failed.
I failed. I
You're going
failed.
to lose 4 sanity points. Now, Mr. Adair, that's your sister. Did you fail or
Yes.
succeed?
I failed. 55 versus 33.
Oh, wow. You are going to lose 4 more points of sanity.
I'll
And
take
because your
it.
mind is already a little fragile, I need you to make another intelligence roll.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. Here goes nothing. Success. 47 versus 50.
Oh, spend luck the other way.
I don't. Can I own that? I don't know. I don't think so.
Don't think you can.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Please roll a d10 for me.
Shall. 6.
6. Please roll another d10 for me.
Okay. 6. Nope.
You, Mr. Adair, you cannot believe what you are seeing. You fall unconscious. You faint. And as you hit the hard concrete, you take 3 points of damage. Mr. Campbell screams ear-piercingly loud, and he runs to try and flee past Miss Adair, this horrible, horrid, spider-like monstrosity that she has become. What would everyone else like to do?
I guess there's no saving her.
I think not. The hole overhead, can we like climb onto a box to get back up it?
You can. It will be a hard climb roll to do it quickly and without hurting yourself.
I'm gonna try, and I will very clearly signal to Arthur. Oh no, Arthur's passed out. I'm sorry, Arthur. To the that I'm trying. Okay. I did not succeed.
You did not succeed.
But you know what? I've got enough luck left to spend it to at least succeed. If I get to the threshold, I know you said it for a hard success. Do I still at least climb out, but I just might, there's consequences?
You might hurt yourself, yeah.
Worth it. I'm going to spend 20 points of luck
Okay.
to get to a success.
All right. So you crawl up, but the inside, the interior of the tunnel, as you pull yourself up out of the lavatory, and that broken porcelain around there cuts you as you go. Please take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Astoria Adair, or as she should be rightly called, the daughter of Atlat Nacha, the spider god that she has now become.
Oh my gosh.
What would you like to do on your turn?
Muted.
You're muted, I believe.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. Yeah, so I would love to attack Isla Ambrose as she's trying to get away. Am I correct?
Because she's trying to crawl up the hole.
Yeah.
You can try and attack her. There's also Mr. Campbell who is running through as well. Also, that choppy effect, I believe, is the voice modulator that's being detected there. That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off. It didn't work.
Oh, it didn't? Oh, okay, it's all good.
No, it's okay.
There's Mr. Campbell who's trying to run past you, who may make for an easier target, but because Miss Ambrose.
Oh, if he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll totally go for Campbell then.
Okay, sure. He is just running, so please make an attack roll. He failed his dodge.
I rolled a 32.
Okay, that's a hard success. You definitely hit him. You are going to do 1d6 plus. Wow, it's 3d6 points of damage to him.
Ooh, let me
gonna
pull
be
some
dead.
stuff out. You said 3d6.
Yeah.
I think I have a drawer full of dice here. 11 plus, what'd you say?
Oh, 11. It's just 3d6 total is the total.
Right, so the total's 11, and then you
Okay,
said
which
plus
is
what?
definitely more than double his hit points.
Oh, okay.
So you hit him with one of those horrible, like, shoulder blade spear things that have sprouted from your back and pierce him. It goes right through his throat. He grabs and pulls at it. You know, he's got his hand around the knife thing that is lifting. As you lift up and you slice right through his head, and he falls to the ground, dead. Ms.
Who's
Beaumont,
next?
what would you like to do?
Oh No. I want to take the candle. Who has the candle? Oh, we gave it to...
I believe
oh,
Miss
yeah.
Ambrose had the candle.
It is me.
So I can't set anything on fire.
I'm so sorry. That was all. I was gonna throw it back down after you got out.
Well, hold on. Well, let's. Oh, you've got it still as part of your climbing.
Is it realistic that I can?
Well,
I
was
maybe
thinking
couldn't
maybe
have
I was
climbed
going
with
to say
it.
make a luck roll to see if you, when you dropped it, if it's going to be easily found or if it was extinguished.
Okay. That is a success.
Okay. So the candle does fall as part of your climb because you drop it when your climbing was very difficult and whatever, and you cut yourself. And it falls onto the crate that you stood on to get out of the hole. And it is slightly ajar, but it is still lit.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
So Miss Beaumont, what would you like
Great.
to do?
I want to take the candle. This is too many things. This is my idea. Tell me how much of this I can do on my turn. I want to get the candle. I want to run back over to poor fainted Arthur and see if he's got like a flask or something in his pocket. And if he does, rip off some fabric from my dress. I want to make a little Molotov cocktail I can throw at this.
Okay, so in one turn you can definitely get the candle. You can definitely get the candle and get to Mr. Adair's body. And then I'm going to have you make a luck roll to see if you were lucky enough that he snuck a flask into that horrendous outfit of his.
Okay. I have so little luck. I rolled 21. Oh, that's success.
He did. Mr. Adair, please describe the flask that Miss Beaumont finds. Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
It is a golden colored flask. It has some ornate sort of etching onto it, sort of floral in design. But inside the flask, you got that good stuff. Okay.
That's all good. All right. It is now Mr. Adair's turn. Mr. Adair is unconscious. You will be for another 5 rounds, unless somebody finds a way to wake you up somehow. Mr.
Sorry, I
is definitely
bailed.
dead now. We're back.
Sorry,
to
I just stole from you.
Miss
It's
Ambrose.
okay. Do good.
You are crawled out of the lavatory in the powder room. What would you like to do on your turn?
Okay. Can I see Theodosia down there?
A little difficult because it'd be difficult to see her exactly. You definitely yell and if you want to be heard, but you can't quite see where she's at.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, since that's not going to work, I would like to push out of the powder room and listen for what's happening in the dining room.
Okay, so out
And
of
see
the
if a
powder
bunch of people
room,
are getting devoured in there.
so
I'm
you run out of the powder room, and in the hall is standing your number 1 fan, Mr. Cecil, and he's looking around like this, very anxiously. But that's probably about all the time we have on your turn.
Yep.
So now think about what you'd like to do.
Okay.
Back to the formerly Miss Astoria Adair. What would you like to do?
How close are my next victim? I mean, my brother.
Your brother is only a few steps away on the floor, but above him, on top of him, really, searching his pockets, is Miss Beaumont as well.
Can I try to do a double skewer?
Oh,
As in one skewer going through both of them?
Yeah, I'm hoping that Theodosia ends up moving, but yes.
That's a kebab.
So what we're going to do is, obviously, your brother is unconscious and cannot react. Theodosia, you can attempt a dodge or to fight back. And the only way you're going to skewer them both is if you do get an extreme success, because that will make it impaling, and we'll go through for Theodosia. Theodosia, what would you like to do? Are you dodging or fighting back?
Dodging, but I fail it.
You fail the dodge.
I don't even think I have enough. What happens if you run out of luck? Anything bad?
If you have to roll luck to, for instance, see if you can find a bottle of liquor on
Use
somebody.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 57. My dodge is a 30. I would have to spend all but 3 of my luck points to Make
Before
that
you
a
decide that, we
success.
can hear what Miss Adair rolled
So I rolled 21.
out of 70,
Mm-hmm.
which is a hard success. So you would need to hard success on your dodge to avoid this.
Yeah, I
Turn
can't.
to a hard success.
I don't. Yeah, that's from 57 down to 15, and I only have 30 luck points, so I don't think that's possible.
Okay, please roll
Can
your
I-
damage then, Miss Adair.
Oh, 12.
The
I rolled a triple 4. I'm sorry.
cure goes in. Theodosia goes, just about to have formed this sweet, sweet Molotov cocktail, and just as she's about to, they never quite meet because her hands fall limp because she only got 9 hit points.
Okay. Skewered through. So your hit points fall to 0. You've got a major wound. You are now dying. You slide off the skewer, which didn't quite pierce. You're not dead just yet. You will need to make a con roll on each of your turns, and if you fail your con roll, you will die. Unless,
Okay.
for some reason, this thing decides to just hack into your corpse. Story it would be Theodosia's turn. So Theodosia, now make your con roll.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so my con is 50, so this needs to be 50 or less. It's an 86.
Okay. Would you like to use some luck?
Again, I don't think I have enough. I would need to use 36 points, and I only have 30.
Dying is very bad for your reputation as well. It's super hard.
What's the etiquette of dying in a basement of a rich man's house?
It's about
must
the
be
reputation that you had when you died.
You got to be
Right.
silent, though.
It's chic. It's chic.
That's
Silent
right.
death.
Yeah, be seen and not heard, even in death.
All right. Mr. Adair, you stir a little bit awake. Not quite there. Miss Ambrose, upstairs. Cecil Oakley is standing there. He sees you come out of the lavatory. What would you like to do?
He's coming towards me, and I'm standing outside the lavatory.
Standing in the hallway. So he's turned and
Right.
seen you come out, and he's looking very anxious. Like,
Hey, okay, so everything's awful, everything's terrible and terrifying. What's going on in the dining hall?
oh, everything is quite lovely, really. You should come in and spend some time
No.
with us. You could regale us with tales from your book. Miss Ambrose.
Okay, that means everyone in there is screwed. I'm running back into the bathroom
Okay.
No, get out of the house!
and
What are you
closing the door.
doing?
I'm not leaving you!
I'm dead!
I'm gonna pick up the body and see what happens. I don't know you're dead.
All right.
Oh.
Mr. Adair. Mr. Adair. Please make a constitution roll. If you get a hard success, you can wake up early from your unconsciousness.
Muted.
78 versus 25.
Your con is 25?
Well, that's to be hard. It's
Oh,
a 25. So 50.
You have like 58 points of luck?
I got 26 points of luck.
No, not quite enough. You remain unconscious. Miss Astoria Adair, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
So I already got one, so I'm just gonna go for the skewer on the other one.
Okay, so make
Get
your
your
fighting roll.
revenge.
There's a chance you could fail the roll.
Not quite. I got an 18.
Okay. Which, not quite an extreme success, but please roll your damage. 3d6 points of damage. You could roll a 3.
12?
12.
Oh my
How many hit points
gosh.
do you have, Mr. Adair?
Wait, what was that?
How many hit points do you have?
I have 9 at the moment.
Okay, that is going to be a major wound. You are now dying.
Mhm.
You'll have to make another, just a con roll to stay alive on your turn. Miss Ambrose, it's back to you. Everyone else is dead or is a spider creature of some kind.
Do I hear screaming so I can know that they're dead? Because obviously I can't see what's
You would have
happening
heard
down there.
a ear-splitting scream and gurgling scream from Miss Theodosia. just a few moments before as you re-entered the lavatory.
Okay, obviously I'm doing a lot of jetting back and forth because all directions are bad. So hearing the ear-splitting scream coming back into the bathroom, there is nothing I can do. I am once again leaving the powder room, and I'm just gonna try and push for the front door.
Okay. And Cecil is there, and he tries to stop you. Please, Miss Ambrose,
No
won't you
interaction.
come and join us? Do you still have that knife?
I do.
Yeah. Do you want
Does
to
he-
give a passing
Does he try to
swipe?
physically stop me?
He's going to try and get in front of you, so you can't leave the front
Oh,
door.
absolutely.
Okay, please make a fighting roll.
All right, that's a 22,
22. Okay, please roll your damage.
which we determined was a D4.
D4.
Get out alive. Save yourself.
That's 4.
4. You stab him in the face, and the blade goes
Yeah.
through his cheek and is between his teeth.
Ugh.
And he just sort of goes, please stay longer. Please, won't you? And he's
Oh,
to
no.
try and follow you. But the door
I
is
would
open.
like-
You can make your way.
Yes, I would like to run.
Yes, there is a carriage there.
Who's in that
driving
carriage?
the carriage?
Oh, there's a manservant on the carriage. Or you can run the 3 miles back to Tarryford.
Yeah, I'm gonna book it on foot. I don't trust anybody in this place.
Okay. Run, you run. You run and you run and you run and you run. Please make a con roll, Mr. Adair.
Best of luck.
Everybody has bugs. 45 versus 50.
Okay, you are still alive, but what is the daughter of Atlantasia going to do now?
I think she's gonna twist it.
Okay, she twists it.
And what does that do?
Moment somewhere deep in the back of her head, just at that moment, when she twists her knife, her big blade thing that's come out of her flesh, deep somewhere in the back of her brain, she thinks, oh no, my poor brother, this is so embarrassing. And that is Call of Cthulhu, Regency Cthulhu. What a wild day we had today.
That was wild.
That was wild.
Well,
I
thank you all
died.
for tuning in.
We all
So just
died.
quickly, before we go around the table, Regency Cthulhu is out right now. You can go and buy it. There's a bunch of new rules we also didn't touch on today, such as the size of your estate, a bunch of different occupations, some of which people use today, new occupations, new skills, new mechanics that we've showcased, such as reputation, etiquette, things like that. Go and check it out. It is super fun. I read a bunch of Pride and Prejudice to prepare for this. It was good fun. Hopefully I didn't butcher the Regency era with my Australianisms. But going around the table really quick, I would love to hear from each of you what your favorite thing about either this era or the new mechanics or anything, and also where people can find you and what you're doing next. Starting perhaps with poor old London, Carlisle, who was the last to drop.
Rip.
This was a load of fun. My heart rate was up and down. You can find me on Twitter at London Carlisle. I post a lot about TTRPG things. You can listen to Ain't Slayed Nobody for some cowboy Call of Cthulhu, or Spot Hidden for some good old-fashioned 1930s Call of Cthulhu. Whatever you want, we got something to scare you. So thank you for hanging out with me. And my favorite part of this, I really like that there's now ways to affect other people's sanity, like on your party, to like help that, such as the reassure skill. That's dope, and I want to use that skill in my other games. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Saige Ryan, who is deftly portraying Isla Ambrose, the author of Women's History.
Final girl, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, the final
Yeah,
girl.
that's right.
And final
Yeah.
girl, running on foot 3 miles currently. She's still running, I hear. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Sage. I am a content creator and host. I do a bunch of TTRPG stuff on my channel, Pixel Circus. And I love the reputation in this as somebody who loves like a Bridgerton and just the era of the like concern of the social aspects of this, to add something that's so petty while you're literally being impaled by monsters is a phenomenal time. I think that's an absolute joy. And I've had a very wonderful time playing. Thank you so much.
Lovely to have you. Miss Theodosia Beaumont, aka Paula Deming, with the wonderful hair that I did not address, and I feel bad because your hair looks fantastic, by the way. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Paula. You can find my board game sketch comedy on YouTube, Things Get Dicey. I also stream board games and RPGs on a variety of Twitch channels, twitch.tv/Paula Deming, as well as twitch.tv/BlunderbussTV. You can catch me coming up soon, I think it's okay to say this, playing some Pathfinder 2nd Edition with the Glass Cannon Network. So check that out coming up soon, I think. And I, very similar to the Reputation, I really enjoyed the etiquette because it made me think. There are so many things usually when I play Call of Cthulhu, I'm like, well, I just want to do the thing. But I really stopped and paused a lot of times, and I was like, oh, but should I do that? Is that the right etiquette? Like, we have to check our etiquette for this thing, and what if this stops me from being able to do the thing? And just like Saige was saying, just having to consider, like, what's appropriate behavior made all of my choices much more interesting to me. So, yeah.
Well done. And not lastly, I just want to clarify, the poor old Cynthia Marie, Astoria Adair. Now, there will be people who think that we pre-planned this, and I want to make it very clear that we did not. That was a luck of the dice. London got a bout of sanity, failed his intelligence roll, went into a frenzy, happened to have picked up a saber and killed his
just picked up that sword.
very early on. Luckily, I was able to pass some secret notes and weave Cynthia into the story. So no, she wasn't just going to sit there for the remaining hour and a half being like, I'm dead. One of my favorite things about running Call of Cthulhu is that the sanity mechanic and how that works can do some really wild things. And as a result, this story did end up much different to what I had planned. I'm obviously biased, but Cynthia.
Yeah.
Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you enjoy about the setting and the new mechanics?
Who am I? I am Cynthia Marie. I'm a TTRPG enthusiast. I love playing Call of Cthulhu. I love playing a really good villain. So thank you for that opportunity, both Brian and London. You guys can find me on a vampire show. It's called New York by Night. It's on World of Darkness, where I play in a Camarilla game this time around. If you want to see some of my other vampire stuff, I also play on Ellie by Night. I play Nellie G. I play a bunch of other games that I won't go into, but those are the ones that you can find me currently. Social media, Twitter @CynDancer or Instagram Cynthia__Marie. Talk about mental health awareness and talk about being anxiety warriors and stuff like that. So come join and support and have some fun. And the best thing, you guys all took the ones that I really liked, so I'm gonna go with my next one that I really enjoy, being a dancer. I was very excited that there was a dance stat.
Yeah.
So I definitely put in a whole bunch of points in there and hoped that I would dance.
And there was going to be a dancing scene after dinner, had we ever got there.
Yeah.
I sort of had in my mind that had Ms. Ambrose not been so adamant that, no, we can't just sit down and continue dinner, that there could have been this really awkward, stilted dance sequence with the people that were infected by these spider parasites and everybody.
So that would have been very cool.
It's fun. Dancing was there.
Pretty great.
It's all good.
I wrote Isla to be very difficult.
No, she was great. I really liked her. Yes, especially.
I just had a ball. It was a lot of fun, and I hope I get to play this again.
Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, you can pick up Regency Cthulhu right now. Have a lot of fun with it. Please tune into the Stream of Chaos. Follow us along at Chaosium. Follow all our wonderful cast. Thank you so much for coming out. You're a pleasure to run for. Thank you for indulging my madness and craziness and playing this wonderful game with me. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you all. Bye-bye.